Today, I'm honored to introduce you to Jen Widerstrom. Jen is an incredible coach, athlete, and entrepreneur, but more importantly, she's one of the most kind, genuine, optimistic, and hilarious individuals I've ever met. Jen has this incredible ability to make people feel seen and inspired, especially those taking their first steps in fitness. Her genuine approach and relentless optimism make the fitness industry infinitely better. I admire her immensely, and I'm excited for you to hear the wisdom and heart she brings to this conversation. Jen is someone I will reference when my daughters are looking for inspiration as they get older, and I'm blessed to have her here with me today. Jen Widerstrom, welcome to the podcast. If you cry, I'm going to lose it.
Just started. It's one thing when somebody likes you, but when you tell me that you're going to reference me for your daughters as a role model, it's like there's no greater honor and privilege to like get to even meet them and spend the day with them, but to be someone that you trust with their with where their minds develop is just amazing.
It's one of the questions that I get from many parents of boys too, but mostly young girls who are like, who do you recommend my girl follow? And they'll also ask like questions around how do I help my daughter do X, Y, and Z? And then I internalize that, well, what would I do? And the parents always going to be wrong. Like the kid's never going to listen to the parent. So I think when my daughters are older, I'm just going to be like, don't listen to me because you're not going to listen to me. Go listen to Jen. Listen to Jen, listen to Sohi, listen to Meg Gallagher, Meg Squats. Listen to these people, these women who have had their own experiences for life and can also give you an incredible message. And you are, without question, one of the first women that and I'm so excited for them to see you after this.
I mean, like, can't like wait. I was like, yeah, I'll do your podcast, but when are we playing with the kids? Like,
it's going to be great because we're going to podcast, we're going to have dinner. Yeah. I'm very excited.
Wine o'clock.
Yes, exactly.
I was trying to make a W.
Jen, we're going to start off with a simple question.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Oh, God. Besides...
I'm always interested to see how people answer this question.
You know, I'm one of those people who have a hard time talking about myself. Your intro of me felt really nice to hear.
Good.
I'd say in its truest form, I'm a middle kid out of Chicago with two parents that were educators. I am someone that I think I come across as like an oak tree, but I have roots of a daisy. Okay.
I love that.
And I think my true nature is quite shy and more observant. And I'm someone that has found a life in coaching because I was sorely missing a lot of support growing up as a kid and as a young woman. And I kind of became my own case study for how to help people. And I feel people deeply. I care about people deeply. I feel like a hallmark of who I am is helping people see themselves really clearly. And it takes away me trying to sell something or prove something. I just give them evidence of their truth. So that makes me really happy. So, you know, I'm a pretty normal person with just a big purpose. And that's the way I guess I would explain myself.
What misconceptions do people have about you?
Oh, that I have a heavier deadlift.
What do you deadlift?
I mean, I'm barely pulling 200 right now.
Okay.
I kind of feel like FDO, for display only. Okay. And no, a lot of people think I'm stronger than I am. But bigger misconceptions might be some of my own personal confidence. I think I'm really good at coaching people that are struggling because I share a lot of the same issues. I'm very hard on myself. I'm very critical. I'll have, you know, my own dysmorphic issues, whether it's about body or my career or my intelligence or my ability to be in a successful relationship. Like there's a level of doubt I carry, but it's the language that I understand very deeply. And I think it's why it's made me a very empathetic person and when I'm coaching people and working with people. So I'd probably say that would be the biggest one.
It reminds me of Robin Williams. I believe he had the quote, something to the effect of, sometimes the funniest people are the saddest people because they want to make people laugh because they don't want them to feel sad like they feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where do you feel like this self-doubt comes from?
I think it's just natural. I think we come into the world pretty pure. I see it in your kids' faces and their joy. And then over time, regardless of upbringing, and I think there's layers of trauma. I had very medium trauma, but it's still my trauma.
Yeah.
And you go through your life and you start to go through socialization and bullying or other kids' opinions. I mean, I know people that were made fun of for being fat. I was made fun of for being muscular. I know people that were made fun of for being too skinny. I mean, you all carry your stuff and you armor up and you change shapes and you become what you need to be accepted, which is the foundation of a lack of confidence. It's a foundation. You're like, because you know what you're putting out there isn't the truth, so you don't feel valuable to anybody. And the turnaround becomes exciting when you start to have the courage to just be who you are and you're loved and appreciated for that person. And like the roof blows off and you're like, well, this was possible. And it took me time to get there, but I'm living proof you can. And so once you get to the other side and you start taking off those pieces and, stop being the shape that you needed for each person in your life, it's hard to be a chameleon. It's exhausting. But when you start being you end up shedding what you don't need. And really, I mean, I feel like I have the happiest, easiest life now. But at 42, it took a little time to get there. But
is there a certain time or time period that you think this transformation happened?
A lot later in life than you would have thought for me. I mean, I think it was when I was on tour with a client for a long time and I spent a lot of days by myself. I was probably like 39.
Okay, so recent.
Yeah, like I've had some breakthroughs along the way. I always call it like curriculum. Like, okay, I've got a new encyclopedia on my desk I've got to go through because I've gone through an experience or gone through a breakup or had a conversation that really moved me. Or, sometimes it's just even like, I had like a mushroom journey, like trip. And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't see any of that before. What now? Let's leaf through this thing. So there's that element. But I think what happened when I was 39, I'm on tour, I'm by myself a lot. And I started journaling every day. And it's harder at first because you're like, Dear Diary, it's sunny out. You're like, what do I write about? But when you start to get out of that perception of what you need to write and just allow yourself to communicate on paper, it was the best time and I've spent with myself in my whole life and just showing up on the page. And I was like writing poems. I was like,
out of nowhere?
Yeah, like I saw a tree.
What prompted that?
It just came out of my brain. And it was like about a tree. And I'm like the age of trees and how long they've been here. And like, I kind of felt like Shel Silverstein, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was writing in these little riddles. And then I started, I let my thoughts flow. And I'm like, I'm pretty funny. And
you just realized that?
Yeah. I was like, well, I'm not that funny. Like my friends in Chicago, I'm like, I think they're funny. I laugh at their jokes. The joke with my best friends in Chicago, like Jen's the funniest person in your family, which means we are not laughing at all because I'm not that funny. But when you hear your thoughts and you hear your process, and also that was a point in my life where, because I was a lot more isolated, and especially coming off the heels of the pandemic, I had realized that for a long stretch of time, or most of my life, if I had a problem, I didn't know it was, what I should do about this guy or this job or this opportunity, or should I buy these jeans? I would call a friend or text a friend and I'd outsource the answer. And so when I started writing, I would ask I'm like, why am I having such a hard time starting this conversation with my mom? Why can't I stop thinking about blank ex-boyfriend? Why am I so afraid to paint something? And I would answer my own questions. And so that time with myself, I realized I have got great answers. I'm really funny. I'm really intelligent. And you start to realize that like, oh, this is the person that people are hanging out with when they spend time with me. That's I'm pretty cool. And so the irony is I'm helping people, how I introduce myself, I help people see themselves. But I think at 39 was the first time I saw myself clearly. And it's just been a blast. It's just been a blast. And I think that like the irony is I spent my whole life like looking the part and I never felt internally congruent with the outside. And now it's like, I'm like, yeah, I'm in shape, but like you should meet this person, and that's the most exciting thing. So
what a blessing. That's incredible. I don't think it's odd or off to say that most people never get to that point. I think most people.
Correct.
By the end of their life, they're blessed enough to live a very, very long life to look back and say, I wish I had loved myself more. I had understood myself more. I had given myself more grace. So it's very cool to see. I know you were like, it's later than you would expect, but I feel like it's
but at least I got it.
At least you got there.
Listen, I know my mom is 76 and she's not there yet, but I have hope that she'll get there, that she'll see what I can see in her. But isn't that part of what life is here for?
Yes.
Like going through these experiences. Like I think about you and how much your life has changed just in the last like 4 years. From like moving and kids, and then you know what I mean? And like the surprises you've probably seen in yourself or maybe didn't anticipate. And but all of that is texture.
Correct.
And that's what you're supposed to do here. You're supposed to do things, try things, fail, fuck up, fall down, and just find your way. And God willing, with a great partner.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, because teammates are cool. Everything's better with a partner.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know.
You were saying, we were talking before we started recording, you're single.
Yeah.
Right? You're putting some feelers out.
Yeah.
And I asked, I asked, what's your type? And your first response was no abs.
Yeah, I want like a creative person with like a gym membership. Like no abs is like a prerequisite. Like the more abs I've had on my boyfriends, the less fun I've had. You know what I mean?
So talk about what does it mean less fun? Does it mean like they're so focused on their nutrition, they're like they can't miss a workout? What is it?
It's not about food. It's about priorities. It's about getting this thing called life and feeling. It's not about feeling secondary, but it's about being with someone that's in like. That gets the joy, that's not so overly focused on the husk here, that they're missing out on the real genuine life experiences and conversations and stuff like that. And in my experience, people that have been super fit, even though I guess I would put myself in this category, they're just a lot less fun to be around.
I agree.
But it's also why I want someone more fun than me. I want someone. I need like
that's fair.
You know what I mean? Like my best friends that I like that I'm the closest with are less structured, running late. You know what I mean? Like one of my longest friends, like she'll always send me a picture of like her underwear like backwards, not inside out, but like a thought. I'm like, Kelsey, how is the tag in there? Don't you feel it when you pull it up? She's like, I don't know. And it was like a big day when I put my thong on backwards and I sent her the picture. I was like, I did it. I made it. I'm so proud of myself, to like let go just enough to like put my underwear on backwards. Like that's hard for me to do because I have a rigidity and a structure to my brain and my process and my comforts and my safety. Yeah. And it's fun to like be around people that help me let go of those very like trying to predict the future. Like I love dating guys that are just like, yeah, we're just going to start walking that way and see what we find.
I love that.
I'm like, okay. So less abs is better for me.
Good. Okay. Yeah. All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
What's something, and I have a couple questions asked in the beginning like this just to.
Oh, yeah, no.
And then I want to go into a little bit more deeper stuff, but what's something you used to believe was wrong, but now you think it's true?
What is something that I used to believe was wrong, but now I mean, the majority of my thoughts, I have perception. I've had a perception on like outcomes, people, and especially what people's behaviors mean. I think that's probably the biggest one as I like talk out loud. My favorite quote of all time, Mark Twain, it's not what you don't know that gets you in trouble. It's what you know is for sure that just ain't so.
Yes.
And it's way better, I'm sure, when Mark says it than I do. It's probably better for people to read it if you want to look up that quote.
I heard that quote first in a movie. It was like something about the market crash of 2008 or something. I think that was the...
with Brad Pitt and... hot Gosling guy.
Yes, I believe that's it. Yeah,
The Big
Short. Big Short. Thank you, Mitch. Yes, The Big Short. Yeah, I saw that quote and it was.
But so when you are just so certain, that's what gets you in trouble. And I'm someone that was certain. So I'm like, if I'm dating someone and like I make a big dinner and I make his favorite, and let's say he's like, oh man, I ended up eating with friends. I forgot that you were cooking tonight. I'm like, he doesn't respect me. He doesn't care about how I feel. It's like, wait, whoa, hold the phone. So for me, I think it was a big turnaround, I would say, in the last couple years when when you really look at all your faults within yourself, which are natural and healthy and like cool. And again, part of my texture is my imperfection. you allow it in others. And then when I realized I was assigning meaning to behaviors that were incorrect, it was wonderful. It felt so good. Like to write someone and then I'm like, I wrote a really thoughtful message. They never wrote me back. Well, fuck them. And then it's like, sorry, my kid threw my phone in the river today. And I know it sounds like a silly excuse, but like things really do happen.
You don't know what's going on in their life.
And by the way, people just forget.
Yes.
I made everything so much more dramatic than it was. And
took everything personally.
Oh yeah, like, oh my God, like there's a friend of mine that was gonna set me up on a date with a guy, and I was like, okay, this sounds fun. And then I reached out to him, my friend, and I didn't hear back. And then I like saw something on Instagram and I hearted it, and I'm like, why isn't he writing me back? I'm like, does he think I'm only writing him to get to the guy? Because that's not how I feel. Wait, oh my God. Okay, I'm like, how do I write this note? And I'm like, just wait one more day. And then he writes me, he's like, sorry, wild couple of weeks. I'm back in town. We should get together. I'm like, you were being psycho. So yeah, long-winded for that's what it is.
No, I love that. It's
not one thing. It's like everything.
That's, I think, the best answer I've gotten to that question thus far. It applies to everything. It's not just like one specific, like, I don't know, I thought carbs made me fat and now I realize they don't. Like, this is much more relevant to literally everything in life.
Yeah. There's also relationship. It's people. All we do is interface all day long. And if you're constantly putting judgment on everyone's action, whether they do it or not, I was exhausted.
There's a great, one of my favorite quotes is we judge ourselves by our intent and other people by their actions. And so if you don't reply to someone on text message intent-wise, oh no, the intent, I forgot, I was focusing on something else. But if someone doesn't reply to you, all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm just judging you based on what you did. It's like, that was inappropriate. You should have replied to me. It's like, if we judged everybody based on their intent, it'd be so much less exhausting. You'd be so much more understanding.
But I'm wondering, Jordan, is that ego? Is that ego? Is it protection? What does that come from?
I don't think. Oh, I guess maybe it could be ego if ego is from the perspective of everything revolves around me. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think that's what it is, and which I think is normal. It's the normal human condition, but I think part of maturing, and I don't know if it's maturing or maturing. I never know which one it is, but it's
we're from the United States. We'll say maturing.
Maturing.
Isn't it maturing like in English? Having an English breakfast, hey?
I think part of maturing is getting to a point and realizing not everything revolves around me and not immediately applying negative connotations when something doesn't happen the way you expect it to go.
Why not assume the best?
Yes. Yeah.
Goodness.
There's a great quote that you shared a reel. So I'm going to read some. I have a bunch of things written down. Okay. A long time ago, you shared an Instagram reel featuring a monologue recited by Dixie Carter.
Oh.
I saved it because I thought it was beautiful and poignant. And she said in this reel, and we've already spoken a little bit about it already.
Okay.
She said, in the end, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about you. People are going to forget you about 10 minutes after you die anyway. Yeah. The point is, you have to be exactly who and what you want to be. Most everybody's coasting along. Phony public relations. People who say being beautiful or rich or thin makes them happy. People who are trying to make their marriages or their children seem better than they are. And for what? Appearances. Appearances don't count for diddly. When all is said and done, all that counts is what was true and truly felt and how we treated one another. And that's it. Why'd you share that?
I think for anyone that's gotten to the other side understands why. Meaning, and I'm not meaning death. I'm like, that sounds a little morbid. You have to go the distance and do the work to understand what that means. And that's not, some people won't fully get it. They're like, yeah, everyone's like fake Instapost. Like that's that's not what I'm saying. When you know what's important, it's really easy to, choices are really easy. Where you spend your time is really, you do it without regret. There's no FOMO. There's no should I? Because the peace is within you. When you are at peace with who you are and what you're doing and what your choices are, you you've made it. And to be honest, I was a little self-conscious coming today because I was like, Jordan's going to fucking ask me what my goals are probably. And I was like, I already did them all. You know, I'm like, and I really had to dig deep. And what I came to at the end of this journal entry is I'm like, it's time to set more goals. Like, because I've done everything I wanted to do.
Do you want to set more? Is that like, I know we live in a culture that says you need to be striving for more. Is that something that you want to do?
It's not that I want more. I just want to do more with what I have.
Okay. So what is that?
Yeah. Like, I don't need more money. I certainly don't want fame. I feel like I dodged a bullet getting like semi-famous for a couple years on TV.
Yeah.
It was crazy at the time when the Gladiators went off the air, devastated.
You were?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Why were you
Because
devastated?
we did 2 seasons and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be rich and famous and this is my favorite thing and I get to have pink hair and wear a bathing suit all day. Fucking yes. And like wrestle people and play games and I got a chef that's cooking me omelets every day. I was like, I'm so in for the long haul. And then I got canceled and then I had to like start all over again. And then Loser happened. I'm like, okay, here it is. Here's my pinnacle. I'm ready. And then 2 seasons off the air again. I'm like, God dang it, man. Like, when is this just going to... It's so nice that no one knows who I am. Like,
why is that nice?
It's absolute freedom. I mean, I've trained some really large celebrities, and I mean, it's tough for them to get a coffee.
Yeah, and
it's really, really as a protective, not just trainer but friend. I can't stand the way people are judged about personal matters when you have no fucking idea. Mm-hmm. I'm like, do you have John Mayer's number? Does he have yours? Nope. Don't weigh in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think
Correct.
Matthew McConaughey said it something like it. Like if someone said, oh man, we might have to look this up because I'm going to butcher. If someone has something bad to say about you, but like they don't even have your cell phone number, like
it doesn't matter.
It's probably please listen and look up the quote, guys.
Yeah,
it's so good. But I'm just like, I don't want people weighing into my life. I don't want people looking into my decisions like with that kind of scrutiny. And like if anybody famous goes on a date or goes to do something, everything is weighed differently and it puts pressure on someone's natural ability to just show themselves as themselves. Like, what would it be like to go on a first date and someone knows everything about you and your entire dating history, man or woman?
Yep.
So like, yeah, I kind of feel like I said, I dodged a bullet in that. And I took us on a tangent. What were you actually asking me?
Your goals.
My goals. So the idea is like, I don't really need more, but I want to continue to like, my only like thing I want to do is work with friends that I love and like really better the world with them. Like that's where I want to go. And that's where I've told you, Adam Bornstein, friend of the court, we're obsessed with him.
Yeah.
You know, I'm working with him over with Arnold now at the Pump. And, you know, as you are well aware, our fitfluencer space is a little crowded these days. And I feel, I think I know I'm smart. I know I'm special. I know all those things, but I'm basically like one of many thousands of like little brown buildings and Arnold's a skyscraper.
Yeah.
And I will happily stand on that skyscraper in a 60-year, legacy and reach more people from that platform.
100%.
That's what Loser did for me. And Arnold's trusting me with that legacy and his what he's been building and what Adam's been building to do that. Like, that makes me excited. Like, I don't want the credit. I don't need the fame. I just want to reach more people. And that's the biggest, I think, if I had an actual tactical goal. But like, otherwise I want to like hang out, see friends, meet a great guy. Maybe I'll get married. I don't know. Like, I have a really happy life. I don't really want a lot more.
Can you tell me about your camping? Yeah. This is, I mean, even now, the smile you get on your face, when I see you post about it on your Instagram, and we'll put your Instagram and everything in the show notes so everyone can follow you.
Yeah.
But there are 2 things, I want to save the other thing for later on. There are 2 things I see you talk about that light you up. And you always get lit up when you're talking about things that you're passionate about, but camping is one of the things, like especially your van, and talking about even the video you posted today about the decisions behind certain things in your van. Like, can you just talk about that?
Yeah, I think I light up with camping. Part of it's an instinct. Like, it really scares the shit out of me, to be very honest.
Really?
I get very nervous, and it's the way I practice courage.
Okay.
It's I understand how easy it is to kind of trap yourself in a little fear square. Like, I'm really good at what I do. I haven't been a novice in something in a long time. And so when you are at the top and you know that you're the best and you're operating like, you know, it's like surgery to 100 miles an hour. That's where I am in my career in a lot of other areas. But when it comes to camping, I mean, the first time I took my first van out, like I hit some switch with like my quad and I burned out the electricity and I accidentally dumped my water. Yeah, I was in the desert and my first trip ever lasted like not even 12 hours. I was like, oh.
You were by yourself.
Go well, yeah. It's like, fuck.
Where were you?
I was in like an hour and a half from where I live. I was like in Apple Valley.
Yeah, but still.
Like, dude, I was like, okay, I might have to go into town. So like building my own fire and I was like embarrassed. It was like, I'm like, this must be what like new people at the gym feel like.
Yes.
I'm like, are people watching how I'm setting up my
Bunsen burner?
And I didn't want to be judged based on like my bed. I'm blowing on it. I'm like, why don't my fucking fire start? And then I remember I packed extra kerosene as like a little cheat. And I was like, okay, but like, so it scares me, but it helps me practice my courage. And even it sounds funny, but like navigating a map, navigating a trail, navigating survival, not like I want those reps that challenge me, like, because it doesn't, you know, just like in the gym, it doesn't just stay there. It goes with you and it gives me confidence when I'm just in life, no matter what. It gives me confidence going on a date. It gives me confidence when I'm taking on a new role with a job. You know what I mean? So I think for me, I started very much as like an indoor cat, and I like the novelty, and I had I had got like cool like ice cubes for drinks in the van, and I had had a mirror and I had all this stuff. And it was funny, the more I used the van, I was like, I used it and I spent a lot of time in the van. And over the first 3 years now of that one, I realized I want to spend more time out of it.
That's why you're out there, yeah.
To go out there, and that's why I'm doing this rebuild, and I'm getting a slightly smaller van, and like it has got like a lift kit, so it's a little bit better, like and handling like different terrain, and so I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can go further now, and I'm a little like, I mean, look at my body language. I just like was like I'm kind of scared because I have to figure this out. I have to research where I'm going, and I find a lot of excuses to like, I'll just drive to Malibu and have a sandwich and a mimosa and then I'll come back, you know, but like to really be a student of it, to really get into nature further and to see more national parks. And yeah, so I love it because it scares the shit out of me.
That is one of the coolest things I've ever, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
I expected more of like a crunchy answer and you gave me a badass answer, which is like, it scares the shit out of you. So you go in towards the fear.
Yes.
Which is, it's just like you were saying, when people get nervous to go to the gym, it's like, if you're scared to go to the gym, go to the gym.
Just go. And like, honestly, what I realized too, and I had a friend say this to me, she was like one of those Naked Afraid champions, Kai, this wonderful Australian woman, but she was like, she did this crazy motorcycle trip across Australia. She's an Australian. She's like, I was terrified, but I just started with one night. I packed enough food for one day, got on a motorcycle, slept out, and I said, okay, what if I went from here to here now? What if I went from here to, and so that's what I started doing as a van. I would go away for one night, come back, okay, 2 nights, let's go, 1, 2, okay, come back. And then you just start to build that familiar, like, the feeling or I'm like, oh, I know what this feels like. I know what 2 days. Okay, I didn't pack enough food, or I packed too much food. And just like you go to the gym, you're like, okay, this is what 10 pounds feels like for two sets. Okay, got it. I'm out of here. And then next time try 2 machines, you know? So it's like, it's almost like preparing it's the muscle of my mind.
Yeah. It's exposure therapy.
It's well said. Exposure therapy.
You put yourself through it for a brief period of time. Don't leave. I'm still safe. Everything's fine.
So now the new van, like even Mikey, he's the builder. He goes, he's like, yeah, so the van should be ready. Like, I'm like, well, you know, if you want to take a little more time, it's fine. I'm like putting it off. He's like, what's with you? I'm like, I'm just nervous.
So you've been doing this for 3 years and you're still nervous?
Yeah. Yeah, but now it's because this van can take me further. So I'm like, okay, where do you want to go, Jen?
How
And also it's carving out the time for myself too.
That makes sense.
Because like I'll come here, spend a weekend seeing you and your family. The Miltons are in town too, like going to Training Mate, hanging out. But like, would I spend 4 days for myself? You know, and that's a big question mark in my heart. I'm like, why do I spend for others but not for me? So I don't know.
Is it difficult to be alone? Would you prefer to be with people?
I would say no. I've gotten I really like who I am. I like my time. But I do find myself like, well, I want to save that trip for when I'm with like my guy. And I keep saving places for, and I know I can feel a very special relationship coming. I'm not like Miss Cleo, but I've got like a little bit of tickle back here thinking like something's happening.
You're ready for it.
And I think I've only just ready in these last few years.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm not kind of concerned about my timing, but I feel myself saving and like, stop it. Just go and then you can take them back there.
Yeah.
So I'm trying, but I realize the saving is an excuse.
Oh,
it's just another disguise. It's just another detour. Adam keeps wanting me to write this book. I've told him about it for years, but I want to call it More as a Detour.
Yeah.
Right? Like you keep trying to add things, you put things in the way, and it just takes you.
Yeah. It takes you
way.
around. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. When you frame it that way, it makes a lot more sense. Because I understand wanting to save it. My concern outside of delaying it and using it as an excuse not to do it is you then put a lot of the experience, like so much expectation on that person, where it's like, I saved this for you, and they're like, but I didn't ask you to.
Oh, wow.
Right?
I didn't think about
it's
that.
like if they don't respond the way that you would like them to,
Yeah.
that's a lot of pressure for that person, right?
That's a really good point.
But
again, why am I waiting to live parts of my life for someone else to enter?
Correct.
It's like,
yeah.
Jen, just go.
What do you do when you're out there? Like, what do you... this is from someone who doesn't camp. I'm just interested.
Like, it's funny. Like, it depends on where you're camping. I really prefer sites that are like on BLM, which is basically public land.
Okay.
Like when you see sites where there's like a bunch of trailers and people lined up and everyone's barbecuing, like that's worst case scenario for me. Like I'd rather be kind of in the middle of nowhere. Like Alabama Hills is a great place. It's about 4 hours north of LA or northeast. It's kind of like by the Sierras. And there's like Langley and Mount Whitney, and there's a string of mountain caps, right? But it's where they used to like film all the old Star Trek.
Oh, that's cool.
With the William Shatner. And like, so it looks very like moon rock, and there are all these like boulders, like 3 times the size of your house, right? Just massive. And you're just kind of out there, and you can trail walk into the mountains. You can be around, like I'll cook, I'll read,
awesome.
I'll hang out. Yeah. But there's a lot of day trails, but also like there's some 14ers. I mean, I claimed Langley this fall with a group of people, and you can just like pull up into there. So sometimes what you'll do is like you'll do like a day camp down there, and then you'll drive up to like a base camp, which is like 9,000 or 10,000 feet. Then you'll hike up another 1,000 or 1,500 feet, camp again, which is a little, you got to ruck your shit up there. But then it's like, okay, and then you're sleeping at elevation 2 nights, and then you're at 11,000, and you could do that and come down. Or if you want to, I mean, for us, for Langley, it was like 20 miles round trip on the final day.
Wow.
Up, down, and back to camp.
That's cool.
So it just kind of depends on how much you want to bite off,
When you're by yourself, do you bring a gun or any? You do?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What kind of gun do you have?
I've got a Ruger 9. Thanks,
let's go.
Dad. Yeah, he's like, you have to go out with protection.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I've got those critical mass bullets. Thanks. I got them all. I do the whole thing, but yeah, I bring a gun.
Good.
And I've got some other just good stuff to have, and like I've got it. Yeah.
Did you grow up shooting or no?
No, but my dad, we've always been like, we've always had guns in the house.
Okay. So you were always comfortable with them.
Yeah, but I started shooting. I think it was at Summer Strong or Winter Strong. It's like the strength and conditioning event. They'll do Winter Strong, and they teach you how to use the pistols and the rifles, and it's really, really fun.
That's awesome.
And there's some shooting ranges around LA as well.
Yeah.
So it's like great. I'd rather have the comfort and I have it and not need it, but yeah.
100%, especially when you're out by yourself in the wild.
Oh, dude, I'm having them install like a hidden compartment in this new one.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I have like what's the Starlink, like the Wi-Fi?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Does it work well?
I always create like a really scary sounding like Marine Series 4721. Like I want them to think like some like bad motherfuckers in the van.
That's genius.
Yeah.
Did you read that on a blog somewhere? Like you should do this, or you just made that up?
Yeah.
Smart.
Just, yeah.
Super smart.
Yeah. My dad wants me to get the beware of dog tag. I'm like, Dad. And not kidding though. I lent my van to a friend of mine, and he put this. It was like the AK-47 cross. Yeah. Come and take them. He had like 2 of those on my van. I'm like, I'm gonna get my tires slashed. Like I live in Los Angeles. I'm like, so I'm trying to scrape the stickers off. He's like, well, no one's gonna mess with you. I go, oh, they're gonna mess. Yes, they are. So anyway, I know. It was a good idea in theory.
It makes sense.
I'm like, I do not have an AK-47 though.
Yeah.
Come on. No.
That'd be wild if you did.
I know.
It'd be cool in my opinion, but like.
Oh God.
All right. I'm gonna get in a little bit about exercise now.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, you said I have a whole section of you said. Okay,
Oh, no.
like where I just went through your
Can't
posts
wait.
and
Okay.
this is actually I love this because it's actually very similar to what I do, and I want to hear you explain it. You said I move 6 days a week.
Oh.
And you're like, okay, it wasn't bad.
I was like, what did I say?
And you outlined your workout schedule. I want to go through each of these workout days
cool.
and just hear your thoughts on them.
Yeah.
You said you have a play day, you have a clay day, you have Pilates or yoga or whatever. You have heavy lifting, you have jump training, and you have gentle volume.
Yeah.
Can we just go through each of these
bet.
and how you incorporate them in your week?
Do you care that you take me through the order? Yeah.
Well, the order you put it in was play day first. So we'll go play day first. I like that you put the play one first.
I think the number one thing people forget, especially as we become young adults, is to play, to take risks, to move our body in unique ways, in different directions, and like hypothesize. Like you're doing it with your splits and your stretching.
Yeah.
And I think you did you did like a bridge. Weren't you bridging?
Oh yeah,
on your little monkey bars.
Yeah.
I think that we get like a little bit embarrassed as adults to not try things out, and one thing I really see failing in adults is physical literacy is what I call it.
Yeah.
So kids are playing, jumping, rolling, drop seating, whatever.
Yes.
And then we kind of age out of it, and people get busy. They're at desks, but like playing with different techniques, playing with a different grip on a bar, playing like I think that video I was doing a bamboo bar.
Yes.
And it's like the bar weighs nothing, but you put bands and weights, and so it kind of like it shakes, so it creates like an earthquake. So it's a variable.
That's a brutal
and you can press,
variation.
and you can do overhead. It's so fun, but it's like I think keeping fun to be is a major quality of your movement is just what's going to keep you wanting to do it. So play days can be on your own, experimenting with different things, or if you're like, oh, I want to see how high I can box jump. Like play with it, fuck with it, spend your hour doing that. But also that's when I like to go to like different group classes as well. Like I'll jump into a different circuit class, or I'll try something out, or I'll jump. Someone's like, oh, I'm gonna lift today. I'm like, dude, I'll do your program. Take me through. I want to see what you're up to. So it's fun just to play.
I like this for so many reasons, not least of which right now, I don't know how much you see. My feed is filled with a lot of like optimal bros. Like everything has to be optimal. You have to be pulling in the exact right line of pull, and you got to make sure you're recruiting the exact right number of motor units, and like the program has to be perfect. I'm like, can you just have fucking fun?
Well, can I also just spit out the headline that we're not going to the Olympics, Jordan?
That's
not
over,
you,
unfortunately.
not me,
I wish.
None of those guys. We're not going to make it. So what does it matter if you're Usain Bolt? There's an argument to be made about his training style, his percentages, his proper recruitment.
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm totally in. But if you're not in sport, like just curl the fucking thing. Just move it up and down many times,
Yeah.
and that's it. So I think I think it's a way of someone, I think, trying to come across with authority and strength, and I pray. Listen, we have a very fat, sick country, so I don't mind how many people are shouting it. We just need to keep getting the information out. I just don't like that specificity because it keeps it very out of reach.
Yes.
Because I'm like, oh, that's not me.
Yep.
Right? It's almost like shopping for clothes and you see like a brand, like, you know, I'm like, oh, that's not me. I would never go there. And I don't like that happening with movements.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's just a curl.
Correct. And I think we often agree that if the diet you're following isn't enjoyable, then it's not going to be sustainable, and you shouldn't follow a diet you don't like. You also shouldn't follow a workout program you don't like.
Never.
It's not going to be sustainable. So how about, I think the priority of a great diet, the base of the pyramid is you have to be consistent with it, and consistency, part of that comes from fun and enjoyment.
Yeah.
Same thing with working out.
Oh, yeah.
If you can't enjoy it, I think if by the end of your workout, you're not smiling,
Oh, yeah.
you're not feeling better, then you need to find a new workout.
Right, that's great. Do. That's great data. Be like, I didn't like it today.
Yeah.
I'm not going. By the way, I'm not in yoga flow right now. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to sit still. I'm bored out of my mind. And God forbid the teacher's annoying. I'll walk out. Yeah. But I'm a bit of a brat now. Like, I've worked out for so long. Like, I started gymnastics when I was a kid. It was very competitive. You know, 3 sports in high school, college track. It's like, man, and then I decided to do CrossFit for a while. I was like, what am I doing? I'm just sick of, guys, I am sick of working out.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I don't create variety and if I'm not loving it, it's like, I'm not skipping into the gym every day. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But like, I'm always happy at the end.
Yeah.
So that's my play day. What was your next one?
Clay day.
Clay day. It's right here, man. There's an iconic scene in Pumping Iron when Arnold talks about the body as like a statue. He's like, so when you're looking and you're flexing, you know, you're basically saying, okay, I want to add a little more here. So I'm going to do more of these. And so that's like, for me, like, I look at my body, I'm like, what do I want? I'm like, I want my butt a little bigger. I want my traps a little smaller. So, okay, no traps and let's do extra butt today. So it's like, it's just fun to, like, you can't spot train fat, but you can bet your ass you can spot train muscle.
Yep.
So it's just fun. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beach muscles.
And how many times a week, would you do? Or like, does your schedule work on a week, or is it you extend it out longer?
It's a forever.
It's just, I love that. That makes me so happy.
I rest when I rest. I work when I work.
So it's not like a 7-day, it has to be Tuesday is this day.
No,
it's like, no,
gosh,
it's just
it's
whatever.
not possible.
Yeah.
But I find myself, I'll do like sometimes full clay days, or like I'll add some on, like I'll heavy lift and then I'll like hit some shoulders on the side or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Okay. And next is Pilates.
So Pilates, I think, just changed not only my whole body and balance within, it changed the way I teach everything as well. Pilates.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Joseph Pilates founded the sequencing back in the day for our military, for veterans in the hospital beds. And so when you're injured on your back and you're healing and, you know, you've got a broken limb, it was developed it's basically lying down PT.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so what I went into Pilates 4 years ago is I had a really terrible neck herniation, and it was like 18 millimeters and they were going to operate. And I was like, you're going to cut into my throat to cut out? No, I mean, hold on a second. Let me just, and I was so young. I was like only 31, maybe 30. And I realized whatever pattern I'm doing, whatever my movements are, I'm replicating to create this bulge. So I need to be a student of what my body is doing and where my imbalances are, so I can kind of undo that, or else we'll do the discectomy and then it'll just bulge in another spot and whatever. So I went into Pilates to really learn that balance.
How did you land on Pilates? Like, what was like?
I got so lucky. This girl approached me and said, was a Pilates teacher, says, I really want to do strength training. Can we trade?
Oh, smart.
And I was like, Pilates? I was like, all right. I was like, this has been hurting, and, you know, I'll try anything. I hated like the first 2 sessions. And
Why?
just bored out of my mind.
You were bored.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. And it's really slow. And it's all like, and I'm like very like, I'm muscling everything. I'm so strong. And she's like, nope, you're not doing it right. And like, and it was showing the basis of where a lot of my pain and injuries were coming, my back, my spine. And she helped me understand like distal versus like proximal recruitment. You know, distal for everybody listening is like what's far away. So I'm doing flies and I'm moving my arms, or proximal means I'm going to squeeze my chest. And because of the contraction from my center, my hand's going to move as a side effect of the correct contraction. And so when I realized I started moving from the right places, not only did I start to see the pain go away, I saw the shape of my muscles change. I felt length come back in my body. And it was like, I'll train my ass off, but it's my reset. It's my way to really take care of my body. And I also like the neurological function of this, because I think when people think like stretching, they think like, yeah, like stretch.
That's the one they think of. That and the quad stretch.
And but like your body will only let you go as far as you can control. So if I'm, sitting over someone shoving their leg back, it's actually their body is not going to. You might feel the stretch in the moment, but the muscle will tighten right back up.
Yes.
So that's why Pilates, using that range and controlling on those end ranges, which is so great for your ligaments and tendons, by the way. That's why so many bodybuilders will like go swimming and they'll like pop a pec or a bicep because they're not going all range. Anyway, and I realized that like what I was able to get out of that feeling. And then, and now I teach people out of so much pain because of the proper recruitment. So Pilates for me, sometimes I'll get lazy on it, but like, and also if someone, you guys can hear the way I talk. I'm like, Pilates makes me slow down and be very quiet and get into my body and get into my breath. And it's really a delight. It's like the best.
I've never done a class, but since I got really into the mobility stuff a couple years ago,
yeah.
Many women who do Pilates are like, you're doing a lot of Pilates movements.
Oh, yes.
And it's brutal, by the way.
Well, you're doing mat as well. So what I like about the reformer is that you really can feel your body in space. It's almost like squatting to a box. And it's like, oh, there's the bottom of my squat because my ass hit the box. Got it. So Pilates with the straps and this, you're like, oh, I'm feeling end range. I'm feeling when I'm losing tension. So you just get that proprioception that's built in because of the device. So that's what I would like for you. And you'll probably you would nerd out on gyrotonic.
Okay.
I'm wondering if they have any in Dallas, but like that's where if you know, and like do you know what teacups are?
No.
Can I move this a little, Mitch? Is it okay? Teacups are where like it's like, so pretend you have 2 cups of hot tea.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like don't dump the tea, right?
Yep.
So,
makes total sense.
So technically, if you're mobile, you should be able to do both together. But like, so gyrotonic plays, and it's a machine that kind of allows like circular fluid movement and like coming from like, and you're not like, jostling around. It's not the saddle ranch, right? Like you are in the right spot and you're moving from the right areas. So it's really neat and really gets you in your body and puts that length back, but it helps you get in touch with all of that.
I like that.
Because by the way, we are circumferential beings.
Yep.
We're not like meat. We're not a piece of paper. We're not 2-dimensional. We don't fold in half.
Yeah.
So we need to think about circles, like not straight lines.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's why I really like it. But I also would recommend to you, I started doing privates with Pilates. Work with someone one-on-one. Really understand the language and like where the currency of the class lies is like understanding your body in it, and then you can get to a class and you'll really start to fly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna search around Dallas, see if I can find one.
I can look to them with my contact.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be perfect. It is very interesting. I feel like, and listen, I know you and we both love strength training and we want more people to strength train.
Yeah, forever.
I do feel like it's been, especially in the strength world, it has become taboo to do anything outside of strength training. And then it's no wonder you see these people who are in pain and move like the Tin Man. And it's like, well, strength training is great. There are also other ways to strength train that allow you to move better.
Do you know how strong you gotta be to do Pilates?
It's wild.
Strongest chicks I know.
It's wild. And like gymnasts, for example, right? It's like, as you know, it's like
male and female, go.
Oh my gosh.
Look, you know what? You want to see strong people? Go to like a really good burlesque show. Go to like Crazy Horse in Paris.
Yeah.
These women are like, and
it's
like
crazy.
standing on I'm like, I gotta get back to that bar.
And they do it with a smile on their face.
Dude, without shaking, trembling, ultimate control, poise. Oh.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have the Pilates day, and next is heavy lifting.
I mean, listen, I feel very lucky. My dad put dumbbells in my hand when I was like 7 or 8.
Does he lift now?
Oh yeah. My parents, lifetime lifters forever.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like I grew up with like a Conan the Barbarian, like framed picture on my wall. And
that's awesome.
Like it was a hard day when my dad's like, so Conan's not a real person. I was like, what? But it was cool because that was the day he's like, well, he's actually a guy named Arnold. And, you know, seeing, I think my dad wanted to encourage my interest with lifting. And I was already doing gymnastics, and it really helped me on bars and a lot of the other stuff. But I just, you know, I always, you know, I had a long last name that no one could pronounce. I talked funny because I had a speech impediment. I went to speech class for like 6 years. Yep.
Oh, interesting.
And so he talked pretty funny, and he was muscular, and he was like, and honestly, if you look at it, like he was not cool in the 70s, like that little pocket of muscular people.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Yeah.
And I was made fun of for being muscular, and like my last name was like Jenny Wienerstrom. You know when you sit in your pants, like your jeans make like a penis, and it's like you have a penis.
Yeah.
They call me Oscar Mayer. I was so upset. And I can laugh now, but you know,
it's tough as a kid.
It really was. But like, I saw this hope in this guy, and I was like, okay, well, he seems to be doing pretty. What's this Olympia thing? 7 times? All right, I'm gonna win it 7 times, you know. And then I started to follow the women, and I had everyone's posters on my wall. So again, lifting felt like a very natural conversation in our home. And so, and then obviously, I went through gymnastics. I got into, and I would lift in the summers in the football room, and like Mr. McEwen, our high school football coach, would like let me in, even though the football players were in there, and I got to like lift. So again, I had a lot of support. But then in college, when I did hammer throw, like we were always barbell lifting, so I had such a head start on so many people. But to me, there's nothing that gets the response from your central nervous system or your hormones better than that kind of heavy lifting, that request on your body, that stimulus, both physical and mental. There's nothing like being under a bar and saying, I'm going to stand this thing up, you know? And also like, that's not something that happens in 4 weeks or 8 weeks. Like you build up, but like you really feel in your body, and there's something about feeling the power in your body that is like this hidden bonus when you get to that part in your training. So, I mean, I always tell people like, start with dumbbells and start with like really heavy curls. Start with like, a really, really heavy row. Don't go over your head yet. Like really start, squats, instead of putting your dumbbells down, put them at your sides, but really start to feel your body move with that healthy tension and contrast. And you're like, oh, my body is doing the things, right?
It's one of the best feelings in the world when you overcome, when you really learn how strong you are.
Oh my God.
And how strong you can become.
You bet. Oh yeah. And you see it in your life. I mean, like we just posted this in the pump, but like we had a share of like what surprised you about being strong. And it was like, this guy was like 74 and like picked up a bag of dirt for his like garden. He's like, it's the best. No problem.
That's the best.
And I even, I was thinking about when, I always feel my strongest when it sounds funny, but when I help people that are either moving. I love helping people move because I'm like, that's good. As long as you feed me and give me a beer, I'm there. But also when people are injured, like when my dad had his knee replaced, and like helping him up and out of, I'm like, you feel really capable, and that feels really good. And my brother and I had this whole conversation with him about that, because he's like, I really felt useful. And if I wasn't strong, I wouldn't be able to even be there for dad, So like there's that kind of capacity into our life. It's like, that's just like,
it's everything.
It's everything.
I think about it every day when I like put one of my daughters in their crib. Oh yeah. And like bending over, or like every day you'll see my daughter will want me to throw her up. Like she wants me to throw her up as high as she can. And I'll do it over and over and over. Mitch
it's like plyo training for your
It is. It's upper body plyos.
Yep.
And I'm so glad that I have the ability to do that. And because especially, listen, I'm young. I'm 34, but I see dudes my age now who I grew up with who are struggling with their kids.
Oh, yeah.
Even yesterday, no, it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before yesterday, I put my daughter in her car seat, and when I stepped down, there was a ledge on the ground, and I rolled my ankle over the ledge, but I didn't hurt my ankle. And I was like, thank God I do ankle strengthening stuff.
know.
And obviously I can't say for sure I definitely would have broken it or sprained it, but I know it didn't, at the very least it helped.
Dude, resiliency.
Yeah.
You want vitality, you have to be resilient. And I did the same thing. I dislocated my knee. I was at Gunner's Gym, Peterson, and it went all the way out and came back. And I was like,
Oh my gosh.
and Gunner's like, don't throw up on me. Don't throw up in my gym. And I was like, I'm getting hot. So, oh my God. And then I just sat there and I kind of straightened my knee like this. And I was like, I mean, by the way, I'm probably 3 months past that, and I'm doing lateral stuff and I'm fine. No tears.
Wow.
No problem.
That's amazing.
I know. I called Starrett and he goes, so you have a level 5 sprain. That's basically what you did. But
Yeah.
I'm like, I believe that I had not been doing my tib bar shit and my single legs and all my other stuff, and that I would have
Blasted.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's no question.
Correct.
So it's like, to me, it's like, I'm not going to be careless, but I refuse to be careful.
That's one of the best lines ever.
How about that?
I love that.
Yeah.
You just make that up right now?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I like that one.
Me too. I was like, what did I say? Yeah. Yeah. That's what it, yeah.
The next day is jump training.
Yeah.
And this is one I think a lot of people, but especially women, have questions about right now, which makes me happy because before I don't think it was part of the conversation.
Okay.
I think a lot of women are hearing more that jump training is important. I want to hear you talk about it.
Yeah, so it became on my radar. Dr. Stacey Sims has been doing, she's a great researcher and scientist out of New Zealand. I actually think she just moved to the States, but she's an U.S. Woman, and was doing a lot of studying in the menopause, perimenopausal world, a lot of research. So I took some coursework from her online and talking about, like, because basically women were approaching me and I'm like, what? They were asking for things about things I couldn't answer. And so I knew I had to go for more, I had to learn more. So I started getting more certifications. Anyways, she was finding that not only jump training, but sprint training, which could be
It's the same.
enveloped in the same, if you're going to do, let's say, a treadmill. But like, I have a woman that has MS and I'm like, we need her to jump train. We have to be thoughtful about her body's limitations and not overdo it. But when that sensation, again, it's when because women are producing, especially for women, are producing basically a disproportionate amount of hormones. And the layman's is that, like, we don't have any eggs left, right, in our ovaries. So our brain keeps dumping, saying, hey, hypothalamus, more estrogen, more estrogen, more estrogen. And we don't have enough progesterone to respond because of the ovaries. So we become this dump. And so what we need is a response from the central nervous system to make up for the lack of hormonal responsiveness that used to be there.
Okay.
So I hope I'm not going too far in the weeds. And that jump training, and it doesn't have to be that crazy. It's 10 minutes.
Yeah.
3 times a week. And I mean, I've done it by way of like literally hops. Like I think about, like, I used to teach kids gymnastics, like bunny hops. Like, you don't have to make the ears, hands on your sides, but pop, pop, pop down the room, sideways, backwards, like change your directions, 1 foot. Do you ever do dot drills?
Yes. I love those.
Is it worth drawing a picture? Think about like a dice, you guys, and like that, like quite literally.
Yeah.
Can you see it, Mitch? Is that cool?
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's like 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet. Then you were like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And like, I like the brain training of it.
Yeah. Ladder drills are similar.
Exactly. And that's all it is. So I'm not saying like box jump to a 20, to a 40-inch box.
Yeah.
I just want you to leave the ground and land on it safely. And what I love what that does for the resiliency of your lower feet, but also your central nervous system, it's a nice little heart rate pump.
Bone density is
Oh my
huge.
God.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And what I like about the dot drills and the ladder drills, or really just any lateral movement where you have to decelerate and then it's also, that's the stuff that I think saved my ankle is because you're just training the tendons and the ligaments to be strong in those lateral movements.
Those variances, you're having to feedback from the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny. Part of me, I broke my toe. So broke my toe.
It sounds ridiculous, but I get a hangnail on my toe and I want to cry. So like breaking your toes, especially the big toes.
I hadn't broken a bone my whole life, and I broke just one little piggy. During the pandemic, and I was booted for months.
Ugh.
And it was, anyway, we're not going to go to the emotional spectrum of that, but I remember taking the boot off and trying to run when I was ready, and I felt like a marionette. I was like, I'm never gonna run again. And I wasn't even 40. I'm like, I'm old. This is what happens. It's over for me. What am I gonna do? And I was like, okay, pity party. Got that done. Tuck it away. You got to get this. And so I think there's this feeling. And by the way, I was already only not running for 4 months, and I felt so separate from my body. And I was a Division I athlete.
Yeah.
Like I was like, God, it happened fast. So I imagine the fear/concern that women are feeling around getting into the jump training, because it feels weird. And to be honest, like, it might feel weird in your knees at first. It might feel weird in your ankles at first. You might, like, I'll hold my boobs. I'm like, God, there's a lot of movement. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, okay, do what you got to do. Start simple. Start like 10 jumps at a time. But just like you will start to build up, not callous, because I don't feel like that's the right word, but you'll build up that exposure therapy that you talked about earlier.
Yes, resiliency to it, yeah.
To it, and you'll start to be like, oh, I'm fucking jumping on one foot. You're like,
Yeah.
like, and then you'll start to feel really athletic in your body. And I mean, I have clients that, like, oh my God, when I started having jump training, I'm like giggling. I'm like, this is the funniest. I can't even. I'm gonna laugh, and they're like, don't laugh. I'm like, I know, but like, they're like wobbly, can't do it. And now like athletic. Like, and I'm like taking. I'm like, girl, look what you look like right now. She's
It's
like,
awesome.
I look like an actual track sprinter. And it's cool. So like you can adapt, you can do it. And I've taken women that have never done sports in their whole lives that are like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like to really moving well. So like your body can adapt and will do it. So, but I always like it for either like a warm up, like I like dot drills for warm up.
Yep.
Or if you're going to do it maybe at the end of the workout, like even I love like a 10-second like incline sprint.
Yep.
I mean, better if you can be off a treadmill, like do a grass hill, like I've got a little slope by my house.
Yeah.
But that's it. It's the impact creates that jump pattern.
I have a plyometric day once every about 10 to 12 days. And
okay.
I'll do a lot of that, and then I finish it with sprints outside.
Oh, nice.
And I'll go barefoot in the grass. It's just...
But isn't that you like, I'm in my body?
It's the best.
So don't let go of it. Because
Yeah.
that's what starts to happen. I see people cutting corners. I'll never forget the day my dad didn't get off the ground once. He was like, I can't do it. I go, Dad, you can get off the ground. And now he won't even go down anymore. Like he just let it go.
Oh.
And for me, I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
I don't want to let that happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's important.
I mean, it's so funny. I argue with Ben Bruno and Bornstein about the burpees.
Yep.
I go, guys, you can say it's a fucking dumb exercise all you want. It's my favorite because it shows people they can safely get down and get up.
That makes sense.
It's a longevity, like vitality thing for me. It's not like we're going to get ripped. I think CrossFit made the burpee weird.
Yep.
I'm like, it's just getting down and getting up.
You know what? So I made a post clarifying because I've hated on the burpee a lot.
Oh, you have?
Of course.
Oh,
but
we're arguing too?
No. Well, Ben and I we always commiserate over it together.
Oh.
But here's what I'll say. I made a post clarifying it. Okay. Because here's what I think. I don't think there is such a thing as a bad exercise. I think there's a bad way to utilize or program an exercise and a bad way to intention to go with the exercise. I think most people, when they do burpees, they're not doing it to get better at getting up and down. They're doing it to burn calories. I think most people are doing burpees because they think they're going to burn calories. It's going to burn fat because it's going to make them exhausted. I mean, how many people do you know who are like, oh, I love my trainer. Every time I finish with my trainer, I feel like I'm going to throw up. I'm like, that's not good.
Bad
like
sign.
That's a bad sign.
Run.
And I feel like a lot of coaches, and I use coaches very liberally here, people who call themselves coaches, their goal is just to make their client tired. Not better.
Oh my God.
And so they use burpees as a way to make their client tired rather than, well, what can I do to program to make you better? You can absolutely program burpees in a way to make your client better, but it's not 500 at once to see like it's
really
deliberate. It's deliberate and effective, and make sure you're using proper technique, not making sure you're flopping around on your stomach. Like, let's do this right.
Yeah.
Let's do a good squat, a good push-up, good jump. Like, let's do it properly and with an effective amount of reps to make sure you're not being sloppy with it. So it's not like the burpee is bad. And I think there's a series of videos I did on Instagram, I think in 2021, this is the content that I actually regret making the most, was a series of stupid exercises you shouldn't be doing. And people loved it. It was funny, and I did wigs and voices.
I mean, I miss the girl.
Yeah,
bring her
Kenzie.
back.
I want to bring Kenzie back.
Oh.
The reason I regret it is because now I'm at a point where I don't think there's a stupid exercise. There's a stupid way to do an exercise or program or a goal to have with that exercise. So,
do you think that's what you're most frustrated about with our industry now? Is it the lack of knowledge or the misuse of it?
I think it's the weaponization of it. Yeah, for sure. It's the weaponization of knowledge towards people who don't know better, because I very much believe that there are people who know that what they're saying is wrong and know that what they're promoting doesn't work the way they say it does. And they're doing it because the currency of today is likes and views. And so they're okay misleading people, and they're okay weaponizing incorrect information for their own benefit. Does
it scare you from a standpoint of where it's leading our industry? Or do you think we can redirect it?
If I was only focusing on the here and now, it would scare me. If I look at history and all of humankind, I do this anytime I'm worried about where we are as humans in general, not just fitness. Yeah. I'm like, okay, listen, all throughout history, there have been people doing good things and people doing bad things. And what I look at is I'll look at very famous people's Instagrams, people who are promoting nonsense supplements and just stupid stuff that's harmful. And in their comment section is full of people being like, I used to fall for this, but now I know it's bullshit. And I'm like, okay. Like, I think net, we're headed in a really good direction. And I think people are getting better at sniffing out the nonsense. Even now, like, I think people understand basic terminology far more. If I go into a public gym right now, I will see people deadlifting and squatting and doing good push-ups, and men and women. I'll see people doing farmer's walks, chin-ups, all this stuff.
Yeah.
When I went to a gym in 2005, 2008, 2010, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
There was
people
one squat rack,
yeah.
people on the treadmill, people on the elliptical. I didn't see. So I think that the overall knowledge is improving people dramatically. Unfortunately, there will always be people who are doing things poorly, but I have a very optimistic view towards, I think that we are seeing overall net positive effect.
Do you have a comment on, let me start my sentence a different way.
Yeah.
I know I'm personally frustrated. It's not that I give up, but I'm like, it's like being in a fight with a couple of people. And if everyone starts raising their voices, I just wait.
Yeah.
And I wait it out because I'm like, I'm not going to be heard through yelling amongst everybody else. And that's what I feel like is happening. There's so many people yelling in our industry. And I know, and you're in my corner, and you're like, you have valuable things to say. You say things in a special way. And I'm like, I'm kind of waiting for people to stop shouting. And so I'm kind of frustrated, but I don't know if people will ever stop shouting.
They won't.
And that's why I'm like, I don't want that to define my approach, but in a way I am. And that's why I was like, I'm wondering how you feel about that, or how you've managed to steer around it or through it, actually.
I think that here's the way I think. People are never going to stop yelling. And I think that the more accessible these apps become, and the easier they make it for people to yell, and the more they incentivize yelling, the more people are going to do it, which makes it even more important for us to stand out and to put our message out, not with yelling, but actually I think with the way I remember, I haven't thought about this in probably 25 years. I remember being a kid in my school's meeting room, where we'd have school meeting on Mondays and Fridays. And it was like, I don't know, a couple hundred kids and all the teachers and everything. And the principal, Dr. Delaney, would stand up in front of everybody, and all the kids would be talking and blah, blah, laughing. And he would just start talking in his normal voice, probably even a little bit quieter than normal.
Oh, yeah.
And he would just be like this. And there was no, like, teachers weren't like, shh, shh, shh. There was none of that. It was just, he would start talking. But he told the best stories. They were called the Jack stories. And I would always want to hear it. And so eventually everyone would get quiet.
Yeah.
Just so we could hear that one man talk. All these young kids, we wanted to hear his story. Not because he yelled at us, but because we knew that what he was saying was so powerful.
It's so funny you're saying this, because I literally wrote down, I need to not change my approach to coaching. I need to change my tone.
Yeah.
Because I think that your tone is what strikes so much interest in people, because you're just like talking with us. And I can feel when I'm on, and I'm like, that's why I'm like, this is too on. I don't want to do this, because it doesn't feel real. But to your point, it's like people will listen when the tone is right and when they know that there's value. I mean, I think I don't know if I told you when I got here. I'm starting a podcast with Gunnar Peterson and Luke Milton.
What's it called?
We don't have a name yet.
Oh, okay.
I mean, our text thread is balls deep with a bunch of Z's. Because Gunnar says I've got bigger balls than both of them combined. I was like, yeah, balls deep. But so that's not going to be the title of the show.
Okay.
We don't know, but we've already started recording. But it's like and you've been supportive talking about my podcast. You've been pushing me to do it again. And I'm like, trying to let that tone, that voice, that coaching come through, to me feels the most natural and aligned with myself in longer form. So when I've got 60 seconds to make a point, like it's really hard for me. I think you do a great job with it, but like I did this analogy about like Tetris the other day, and that's just the kind of the way I think and I teach, and I'm like, I have you in my head whenever I do it. I'm like, just talk the way I talk. But that's where I feel like the podcast is going to be a really helpful tool for me to be who I am without feeling like I'm shouting, because I just feel like everyone's turned into entertainers versus being an educator. And I realize that's because most of them are not educators.
Correct.
And so they have to do that. And that's their lane and it's not mine. And I feel like I have felt, and this is not a victim statement, but I have felt a bit misplaced.
Yeah.
But I also know that if I wasn't who I was, there's no way Arnold Schwarzenegger would have come to me to be as like VP of coaching and work with him in all these projects, and that like, you know, all the people Gunnar Peterson could do podcast work that he would ask me. Like, I know that like I'm one of the few uncompromised women in this industry that hasn't basically, I mean, turned their page into like an OnlyFans commercial. But I'm such a purist that trying to find that my lane now has been a challenge. Yeah, I'll say that.
I think I hear a lot of people talk about brand, like their brand. Yeah. And I always ask them, what do you mean? What does brand mean? And they have trouble defining it. And the way that I've defined brand over the years is how you make people feel. So when someone sees your face pop up on the screen, or when someone thinks about you, what's their like first feeling? And that, I think, is when you're making content, if you can get people to listen, to turn on the sound, to watch your video, not because you're entertaining or because you're screaming, but because they know that you're going to make them feel a certain way.
That's great.
That's not just power, but that's you're impacting people dramatically. And there's a belief in Judaism that is to the effect of, often this is brought up when we're talking about maybe why someone died in a way that is before what we would consider their time. How could someone die so young? How could this happen? And there's a belief in Judaism that someone might be here literally for something that might seem innocuous, just like someone's purpose of being here could have just been to help one person in one instance on one day, to help them in one thing that to you might seem innocuous, but to the universe it isn't. And that for me has kept me from constantly chasing virality, kept me from constantly chasing more likes and views, and more just like, am I putting out a message that is going to let me sleep really well at night, knowing that at least one person will be better off for it? And that's what I think is going to, that is what I think you need to keep in mind when we're combating the noise and the yelling and the poor information. If you can help one person be more confident in what they need to do that's actually going to help them, like you're
that's it.
You're bringing God's light to this world is the way that I think of it.
Yeah. I really like that breakdown. I really do. And I think that is what we do. I mean, I think God can feel like a very charged word for people.
Yeah.
But my mentor, when I was 25, living in Chicago, she had this like vision of me, and she's like, I just see you talking to people and you surrounding them in God light. That's the way she talked
That's
about.
That's beautiful.
Wasn't it beautiful? That's stuck with me ever since. She called it like a little Jen download. And
I love that.
yeah. And so it's this idea that like we do channel this universal power. And I do feel like that my purpose is to hold people in that light, and it works through me and to create that safety. I wrote words down. I'm like, what do I want to make people feel? To create the safety for them to make the decisions that they need to make for themselves. Like I don't like this idea of like controlling people. And what I learned, the hard way in Biggest Loser is not only not controlling their decisions, but letting them attach to me through them. So I created a lot of codependent relationships on that show because I made myself an irreplaceable part of their success. You move Jen, I can't do it anymore. And I realized, oh man, if they need me, I have failed them to stand on their own.
That's true.
And so that's why it's like I'm there to create an environment. I'm there to create, create support, create courage, but like let them do it. And it's truly like holding the back of the seat while your kid's riding, and you let go, and you're like, you're doing it. Like
yes.
That's the way I feel like these iterations with all my clients. And I mean, it feels, and by the way, it feels good. Like I got a message literally from John Mayer today that said, he's like, I just looked in the mirror and I haven't looked this good with this much
That's
muscle
awesome.
since 2019. And I was like, fuck yeah.
That's awesome.
Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, love the side effects of the work and the wellness and the healing we're doing, for him to keep him like strong and healthy and rocking forever. But I was like, he is proud of how he looks. He is proud of how he feels. And that's like, and I told him, I'm like, you fire me at any point.
Yeah.
You're ready. Like, you're ready. You know what I mean? And I want all my clients to fire me. Eventually, yeah. In fact, if I'm doing a good job, yeah.
I made this mistake early on with my online coaching. And so I literally just had someone message me today. She said, thank you so much for encouraging people to coach in person, because I'm now coaching in person, and I've realized it's very important to coach in person before you go online.
Oh, you mean actual coaches that are in your program? Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
It's
my
you
God.
have to coach in person, because coaching people in person will make you a better online coach, but coaching people online will not make you a better in-person coach. And if you don't know how people move and how to cue them, like, people move wildly different from one another, and so you have to get that experience in person. But when I was coaching online, I used to want to be there all the time. And because I don't like it when someone's struggling. I don't like it when someone is having difficulty. I want to be there to be the superhero, to fix the problem, right?
I love putting the cape on too.
Right?
It feels great.
Feels great.
Yeah.
What I realized was I was actually handicapping them.
Yeah.
Because someone would email me on Friday at 6 p.m. freaking out, and they'd put like emergency in the subject line and be like, I'm going out to dinner, I don't want to ruin my progress, and I'd be like, it's gonna be, I like, immediately, you're gonna be fine, I promise, everything's gonna be okay, I don't want you to worry about it, and I would give an amazing answer immediately and try and calm them down. But there came a point where I started to, hey, I'm just gonna not reply right away, and then they would go out to dinner, and I'd get an email at like 10 p.m. and they'd be like, hey, just want to let you know, wasn't an emergency. I had a great time. Everything is okay. When I was answering before, I didn't let them have that opportunity to learn on their own.
Yeah.
I was robbing them of the opportunity to experience it, for them to realize, you know what? That wasn't an emergency. But if I treat it like an emergency and I come back and quote unquote save them, now they think that's an emergency, and I remove that opportunity for them to learn.
Totally. Yeah, it's hard. To me, the online training component is, I mean, I've built beautiful relationships, never meeting people ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's nothing that replaces the in-person.
Yeah.
Like I joked that Arnold pulled me out of retirement, coming back, working with him and the team. But, I mean, like teaching my women's lift club, like teaching in person, like, I mean, I don't even get paid. I just like, put the class. It's so fun. But what's also really cool, Jordan, is that now I've got 2 other women that are in the LA area that are like putting on like women's strength clinics.
Oh,
and
that's
like
awesome.
Called me like, do you mind telling me what you did and how you set it up and what do you think about this? And I'm like, dude, best, because not only am I helping women lift, I'm mentoring other female coaches, which we're so short on girls.
Yeah,
we're so short on. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's like. I don't know if it's work ethic. I don't know if it's interest. I don't know if it's people are making more money on OnlyFans or other play. I really don't know what it is, but I'm just so desperate to get more women coaching. And like, I just remember like I just learned other people and they took me under their wing and I learned their process. And I just don't know if people are afraid to ask or reach out. Like, I don't know. It's an interesting time, but like I could not echo your sentiments enough about the coaching in person.
Yeah.
It's everything and it's also reps. Like I have trained, if I'm 42 now, I mean, I've got to be coaching for 20 years now.
Yeah.
And so just, you see so many scenarios and then you also see the emotional tie-ins. You can see when someone's kind of hiding something or maybe fudging something. I don't want to say lying, but you know what I mean? Or you can see when someone's stuck and you get better at at asking different questions versus just solving it. Mm-hmm. And because like I also did the same thing. It's like when your kid falls, you sprint over and you want to help them. You always want to be like, no. What?
You're good.
You got it. I saw the rock you fell over. That was nuts. You're okay. All right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like normalizing the mistakes. And that's the other thing, because everyone's like, you talk about it all the time on your channel, but like people are like, I don't want to mess up. I'm like, it's literally impossible for you to mess this up.
Yeah. Yeah. The only way you fail is if you quit.
Yeah.
That's
totally.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
You have one more workout day, which you said gentle volume.
Oh, God, yeah. Just like get a coffee. Don't even put your hair in a ponytail. Walk outside. Breathe fresh air. You know what I mean? That just like move.
Yeah.
Just like, and I like that. I like that throughout my week. Like I've never lived in New York, but I've spent a lot of time there, and it's so.
That's
funny.
where we met the first time.
Yeah.
Or actually, this is the second time.
Yeah. People don't know that. It was 2017.
I think it was 2017, yeah.
And I was hosting an event in New York, and Mark Bell said, "Hey, this guy Jordan Syatt wants to meet you." I was like, "Who's this guy?" And I kind of heard about him. And I think you were doing Kenzie at that point, and I liked that stuff. I was like, "Yeah." And I had I'm like, "Yeah, you can come from 12 to 12:20." Like I had like a lunch break, and I was like shoveling a sandwich. We sat, we talked, and that is the one and only time we've ever met in person.
Yeah,
until today.
And it was great.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
It is. Gentle volume.
Thank you. But like in New York, when I'm there, like you're hitting public transport and you're like, oh, the nearest Trader Joe's is only 6 blocks away. Perfect. Right. And so, 10,000 steps is a drop in a bucket. As a New Yorker, you just hit it. But like for me in LA, sometimes I'll it's like 4 p.m. and I'm at 1,200 steps because I'm in my car constantly. Yep. And so I get made fun of this all the time.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, I have a pedometer, and
do you keep that on all the time?
All the time. Yeah, it's just like a few bucks on Amazon. But I realized, I've tested all the Oura Rings, the Whoops, that whatever. It's just too much data for me, and it constantly just tells me how like I'm not ready for today. I was like,
"Fuck this,
get fucked, man."
Yeah,
I am ready. Like my mindset is everything, and like I don't care if you and your wife drink through 4 bottles of wine tonight, and I'm hungover as f, and it says I'm a 2. I don't need to see that I'm a 2. I'm gonna be awesome tomorrow.
Yeah,
like I lie to myself. Sometimes it'll be like 2 a.m. I'm like, it's 9 p.m. and my little boozy statement, it's 9. I'm getting great sleep. Like I just feel like your mind decides.
Yes.
And by the way, I'm going to say again, I am not training for the Olympics, nor will I be going. So it's like, who cares? But the one stat I want to know are my steps.
I love that.
And I when I dislocated my knee, part of what was happening is I didn't get depressed, but it's really easy to be like, well, it can't work out. So, I'm like, snacking and I'm like making banana bread. And I'm like, dude, you got to have a little bit of a daily goal here. And so I made myself track steps. And so now I'm like, it's a really nice just identifier.
Yeah.
But it's
the most important one. It's the most important metric.
Yeah.
And the other stuff isn't the HRV and like checking your body battery. Like that's not data that is number one accurate.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
None of it is a bottom line.
Correct.
But what I know for me is this is not about burning calories. It's about my mental health and I feel like my movement health. Like I like to move more during my day. Like the fact that we're going to be sitting here as long as we are, like, I'm like, man, we're going to have to walk around the house 100%, after this.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to get into a place in a rhythm where you're not walking very much.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, oh, I like it. I'm like, I'm a little short.
It's smart.
Yeah.
I mean, some people set alarms like, hey, I need to move. This is your alarm.
Yeah. 100%.
Like oh shit, I've only gotten like 3,000 steps. I got to fucking move.
Everyone's like, oh my God, what is that? I'm like, it's really, really cool technology. It's brand new. And people, I get stopped all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's gentle volume. Just walk, just move. And
just move.
Not sweat, not checking my heart rate. Like stroll, get your eyes off the ground.
Yeah.
Wave at a neighbor.
Have a fun conversation.
Interact. Yep.
Yeah.
By the way, favorite steps, Home Goods. Have you been to Home Goods? Do you know Home Goods?
I've heard of it.
It's like the mothership of like TJ Maxx. So if I'm feeling like a little bit like stagnant, I'm like, okay, I'll pick like I'll like ask my number. I'm like, pick a number between like 20 and 50. And my neighbor will be like 26. I'm like, fuck. So I'll go, I can spend $26 on bullshit I don't need.
That's genius.
And I just walk around Home Goods and I just go through the aisles and I'm gonna look at the seasoning and I'm like, oh, salt and pepper shaker. But my limits.
Do you actually stick to that number? Do you?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Come on, it's a game. Listen, I'm not married yet. I don't have a baby. Sometimes I got some time to kill. But it's a nice way to like get me moving on a day that I feel like a little groggy, or if like I think you have some natural like dips of like down days or a little, not depression, but like you kind of sometimes you just get like a weird ick, and I'm like, it's like a booger you can't get off your finger. You're like, what is this feeling? I'm like, Home Goods, take a walk, move,
get out some sun,
little retail therapy.
Yeah.
Never hurt anybody. Just don't go to like Beverly Hills, man.
You said I would be overweight, sad, and lost if it wasn't for the friends, community, and training partners that got me out of my head and into a workout. My mind is a dangerous neighborhood if I let it wander alone, and it's the social aspect of fitness that has kept me on track more than anything else.
Yeah.
What do you mean your mind is a dangerous neighborhood if I let it wander alone?
It gets dark in here.
Tell me.
I think this isn't a cop-out, but there's real mental illness in our family. And,
how in the world would that be a cop-out?
Well, because I'm like, I have,
Just telling the truth.
Yeah, no, it's true. But I just feel like for a long time...
If I had said that to you, if I was like, this isn't a cop-out, but you would have been like, why the fuck did you just say that?
Okay, thanks. I just feel like for a long time, denied that I had a problem. I was like, I'm not sensitive. I'm the happiest person here. Stays up drinking till 4 a.m. by herself, sleeps until noon, starts drinking again at 4. Man,
I'm so happy.
Yeah, shoveling, shit burritos down my throat. Like it was, I realize my family is very natural, both nurture and nature disposition to lean into substance, being food and alcohol, to get very down, to get very depressed, to ideate very, very sad things. And you start to like really pick yourself apart. You pick other people apart. You judge yourself. And it is weird. It is like a form of depression. And sometimes it's just like, it's fatigue, it's wonder, it's doubt. And I know behaviors that push me further into that dark place, which is like again, repetitive. I used to bartend in Chicago. So easily drinking 5 days a week. It's like that was like just normal. And especially my household, like my dad would pour Jack Daniels. Like,
oh, jeez.
And that's like one of 3 for the night.
Oh my gosh.
And like, he's like, light ice. One time we were at a bar. My dad got a Jack on the Rocks, and I got like a beer or whatever. And he takes a chink, and and he takes a sip and he spits it all over the bar. I'm like, hitting his back. I'm like, you okay? He's like, there's Coke in here. So the bartender just did a Jack and Coke. And I'm like,
spits it out.
We can just take it. But it was like a little dramatic, but like we really drink heavy. And I remember I was dating somebody years ago, and I went to like their family dinner, with his parents and everything. And we opened a bottle of wine. And that was the only, they didn't, like nobody even finished their glass for me to open a second bottle. I'm like, like my family goes through 3 bottles before the main course comes.
That's
like
funny.
So it's really built into my family culture.
Yeah.
And I it's just like I'm not a very nice person. You know
really?
what I mean? Yeah. You get sensitive, you get emotional, like I said, and then you're in denial of the behavior that you have. I mean, I've gotten in arguments so drunk with boyfriends I've been with, and I was like, that didn't fucking happen. He's like, yes, this happened.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's terrible. And I was much younger, but like I had to become responsible. So that's what I'm saying. Like I realized I had this thing in me, and I the way I explain it is like, I'm a big Star Wars fan, so this is like my favorite analogy. But like you've got like the dark side, and you've got like the Force, and I come from such an incredible family line, incredible people, special people, salt of the earth, but there's power in our family, and the power can be used for good or for evil. And if you are not able to wield that power, it will wield you. And that's what I mean by like the dark side. Like you can like literally make up things that didn't happen, make up stories, pick fights just because I'm feeling this weird way. And I had to learn to be like, I'm feeling a certain way. Let me take the kettle off the flame, right? Turn that flame down. And so it was learning about these sensitivities in me, learning about what I think is like an undiagnosed like series of mental, that's depression and bipolar on one side of my family. And so I've gone through years of therapy. I'm the only one in my family that's gone. It's probably why I'm not talking with my sister. I'm not talking with my mom, and it's not that it's my choice, but I love them, and I'm hopeful to come through it. But like I said, it's like I'm kind of the apple that fell from the tree that rolled very far away, and I've sought out like mental health support. And so, this is I will land the plane here, but I realized like when I would be in more of a drinking binge, when I would be up later, when I'm overworking, when I throw myself into situations all the way, the outcome is not a very happy Jen. And so getting into the gym, and to this point, when I'm moving, all my choices get better. And I'm not someone that has dumbbells at home that will work hard. I want to go to the gym, and I need you to judge me. People like I walk in, no one could know me, or everybody look at my body like they're like, oh dude, she must be fit, she's gonna be strong. So I have this built-in peer pressure to perform, which works really well for me. I joke like I want people to judge me, but it's more like I like to be in the room. I like that we have to start at a class at a certain time. I like that I have to do this workout. I like that other people are trying hard. It really inspires me. Like
it's accountability.
Totally. And it doesn't matter if they're lifting a lighter bar or a heavier bar than me. I'm like, wow, Garrett's really working hard today, and I want to work hard too. And so I find that the people that I'm with and the people that I'm, whether they know me or not, and they are like my greatest inspiration to keep me going to the gym. And then like, it's like, it's if I missed a day, my friend like, wait, where were you yesterday?
Yeah.
Where have you been? And like being missed really helps me. Maybe again, that's that middle child syndrome, but that's what I mean. Like, I wouldn't be here without that accountability. I couldn't have come this far without that. I actually just signed up for like a CrossFit competition.
Shut up.
Yeah. There's a Wadapalooza in California.
Okay.
And I signed up with this like super hot buff gay guy, Daniel. He's like one of my workout partners at Brick. And he's like, and he's from Australia, and he's like, let's fucking go, Jen. I was like, all right. And I was like, I'll fucking knock the dust off these snatches, and let's, but like, I'm like, I've got that fear thing again, which I'm like, Jen, you're going to show up, you're going to train, you're going to work hard. You still got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm going to push myself to go, but there's no way, like me doing a competition, like working hard for myself, I'll take last place and not give a shit. Like I literally, I did a Wadapalooza. Like they had this thing called the Gauntlet. It was so hard. I was like, and the guy was like commenting, I'm like giving the mic. I'm like, could somebody bring me a beer? And they brought me a beer on the, I was just drinking a beer and I was biking and I made it performative because I'm like, I don't want to work hard. I will I will go until I die with Daniel because I'm like, I know he's counting on me.
Yeah.
That motivates me big time.
That makes sense.
Big time. But like even when I was doing track in college, like individual sport, like as a hammer thrower, my distance is my distance, but the way I perform affects my teammates.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, Jen hit, Jen stayed in, Jen PR'd, I'm going to PR. Mm-hmm. So everyone is kind of stacking on each other's performances, even though it's like our throws don't collectively count. So I do like that pressure big time.
That makes total sense. That
So
makes total sense.
I know it sounds tricky, but like I think when I realize that, like I think that people need to like not be so hard on where their faults lie and just say like I use mine and I weaponize mine for myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I know this about me. Like I used to drink way more hard liquor. Now it's like I drink mostly beer. Like
What kind of beer?
I love a good Belgium. I love a triple Carmelite or like, they have Fin du Mont at Trader Joe's.
No.
Guys, underground. They have like tall boys. Oh my God. But it's like 30 grams of carbs of beer and you kind of get, it's like 10%. You're like, woo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, it'll kick your skirt up. It's really fun. So I'll do some beers, which I've lost some abs over, but it's been fun. Yeah, totally. And my favorite beer is Quack, and I just can't get it in the States now. Yeah, Kwak. It's also it's like one of my favorite words, like smock, quack. There's something about that shape of word.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like I'm really thoughtful about if I do a hard drink. I'm like, dude, like I limit it. I'm really careful because I don't think it's something that you can outrun. You can't outdo. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be Darth Vader.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Because that's the other thing you realize too. For a long time, I didn't think I was a very powerful or important person. So I didn't realize what the big deal was. So I got drunk and yelled at you and didn't remember what's it fucking matter, right? I was like, I'm not that powerful. And you realize you are powerful and how much you affect people around you, especially people you care about. And I realized I was in this place where I was treating the people I loved the most, the worst. And I was like, that is absolutely unacceptable. And it was actually the exact behavior I was replicating that my mother was doing. And I was like, how crazy that I became exactly what I've hated. So it was a real wake up moment and I'm so grateful for it. But it's, that's why I'm saying the gym for me, and I need it to this day. It's not like I used it for a while. Like I need it to this day.
Yeah.
To like, I check in on my app. At the gym, I'm in there. Like I have a hard time getting into a rhythm if it's not with other people.
Yeah.
So
you brought up this point. I'm going to tangentially discuss something I think is really important. When I was a younger coach and people would ask me what's more important, nutrition or exercise, first I'd be like, well, what's the goal? And then if it was fat loss, I would always say nutrition. And in the last probably 5 or 6 years, it's changed. I think it's exercise. And for the exact reason that you brought up, which is you never finish a workout and don't feel better.
Correct.
And when you feel better, you're going to make better nutritional choices.
Always.
It's going to hold you more accountable. People often, it's like, it's more quote unquote worth it, even though it's always worth it. But when you work out, it feels more worth it.
Oh yeah.
Whereas when you don't work out, you don't, even if it's just as you put it, it's the gentle volume, the walking, the light stuff. If you get that in, it feels more worth it. You feel better and you're going to make better decisions. So it actually, in the last 5 or 6 years, I've changed. I was like, let's first get you moving. Let's first get you consistent. And then from there, the nutrition will come. But the nutrition part is tough because you don't see results right away. And usually you feel more deprived right away. And it's like, you're in a deficit. You're maybe a little bit more tired. You're changing your food choices. You're eating more protein. And like, that's all good. But you could be doing everything perfect and the scale might go up. Right? The scale might not go the way you want it to go, whereas you never finish a workout without feeling better literally immediately.
I mean, the brain activity alone.
Yes.
I mean, it's just like, it's pretty neat, but I'll tell you that the greatest motivating factor I use is pride.
Yeah.
It feels good to feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost me anything to do it. I just have to get people through that workout. And so like when you take that pride with you, I did this, I tried, I showed up. It infuses the mind in a way that I don't think anything else does. And that's why it's always exercise first. So I'm like, yeah, there's science and all that stuff, but like you feel good, but a lot of that is accomplishment. A lot of that is just like doing what you didn't think you could do. Like, or like, oh my God, I used 10s today instead of 8s. And it's a really, like we naturally measure things as people, like, oh, it's colder today than it was yesterday. You know what I mean? Oh, your daughter's getting taller. We measure everything. And so it's a great way to like measure in a really positive way. Like I showed up, you know what I mean? And that's why I like that gentle volume so much, because it keeps you connected to movement. I have this 3-day rule. I won't let myself go 3 days and not do something.
Smart.
So if it's like 11 p.m. day 3, you bet I'm doing push-ups and sit-ups next to the bed.
Yeah.
I'm like, God dang it. I hate when I do that to myself, because I'm like on some like hotel room carpet. I'm like, motherfucker, someone's definitely sneezed on this, you know?
That would be the best case scenario.
Well, I was like, how far do I want to go? I'm like, I'll just say sneeze.
I have a lot I want to talk about with you.
Keep going.
But I also know like if there's anything that you have, hey, I want to talk about this, we could talk about whatever. But this one I thought was interesting. And this is the last you said before I get into other questions. You said people are either adding to your day or subtracting from it. In my opinion, there is no gray area. Shrink that inner circle and shine bright so your true tribe can find you. My question is, and there's a lot of places we can go with this, and I know the answer now, but I'd love to hear you talk about it more. Have you had to deliberately shrink your inner circle throughout your life?
Deliberately, I don't know if I'd use that word. I think once you kind of get to a point where you want to protect your peace. And once you arrive there, and you arrive there, because you start to realize you've been scrambling and servicing all these relationships mostly for their benefit. And I'm quite a generator. I know you are too. You're a really hard worker, so I'm like, I can handle it. And then you realize, but should I be? And do I want to? And how do I feel? And I honestly started to just realize, when I got more clear in myself, I would go to dinner with somebody or a group of friends, and I would leave and just feel like this sink right here. I think we all have this compass in the center of our chest, and you either have like a lift, and like when I literally saw you when you came to help me with my bags, I was like, oh, Jordan, you know? And if it's a sink, it's like I would leave and I'm like, I'm not making plans anymore. I mean, it wasn't like I've got this many friends. 30% aren't making the cut. I'm like, this is just a no. And it's not personal. And it's just, I think trees are supposed to grow up and out. And I think people go into different branches, and you let people be in your life for the time that it was. And that's okay to move on. And then you bump into someone and we should make plans. I'm like, listen, I'll reach out when I'm in town. I got some time. Probably won't have time. But so that's what I'm saying. I was deliberately paying attention to how I felt. And I also realized, Jordan, that the people that make me the happiest, that like love me all the way, I was barely seeing. And my week is full with like coffees and dinners and plans. I'm like, oh man, I gotta see Charlie. You know what I mean? Like that sink in my stomach going. I'm like, but I started to pay attention. I'm like, oh, why do I have a sink? I'm like, give it one more chance. Go, fucking Charlie's out. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, I don't know a Charlie, but
hopefully not. You're gonna get a text from Charlie.
I do know a Charlie, but Charlie knows I love him. We played string bass together as kids, so I've known Charlie for like 30 years. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I realized. I was like, oh, it's a no, and that's okay. And I don't need to tell them. I don't need to break up. I'm just simply unavailable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I've got like 118 unanswered texts on my phone right now.
That you just don't even...
I just can't. I'm doing what I can.
Yeah.
And I just have to let some go. And I'll miss some texts from people I really want to hear. And then I've got dozens of people that just like, I don't know, are bored. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. So I feel like, and that quote, I remember that day, and it's just this idea that like, and I referenced it earlier in this conversation, but when you are really being who you are, like it lets your people find you.
Yeah.
Right. And I think for a long time, I was not doing that. And I was like, okay, let's assess this. Let's see if it's a fit. And it was just like, it was a lot of legwork, and it was a lot of reps, and it was a lot of time, and it was a lot of dinners. And I'm like, wait a second, why don't you just be yourself? Imagine that. And not compromise that, and then see who's excited about you. And are you excited back? And it's been like just so much more fun. But like it has narrowed like the field so much, and it's just a delight.
Good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So I spoke earlier, there were two things that I really see you light up about. One is about camping, and the other one is about Women's Lift Club.
Yeah.
Can you talk about, I know you mentioned it briefly, but tell me about it. Like, what is it?
It started out in about 8 months ago. I'm, working out at this gym, and I'm constantly getting questions online and in person from women, and just I was filling in coaching some CrossFit classes as well, and I just realized there was such a lack of confidence around what their women's bodies were able to do. They're like, well, like that's not me, that's over there. And I was like, well, have you tried it? Are you curious? And I realized there was such a need for education, and that women specifically learn very differently than men. Like men are like, where's the bar? Pick it up. Okay. Women are like, okay, so are my feet like this or like this? What am I doing with this ear? You're like, oh, so, and you guys can't already tell, like I'm very verbal. I like the analogies. I'm an educator first. So I'm like, why don't I just put on like a lifting clinic? And we had like over 50 women show up. Oh my God. And people flew in for it. Yeti sponsored it. Adidas like gave shoes out. Like, and it became this great thing. And there were so many women that wanted it in the area. The owner and the manager of my gym says, can you put like a lifting class on? I was like, yeah, no, I'll do a couple. And here we are like 8 months later, and we're doing them like every week, every Saturday morning. And it's 75 minutes long. We play Annie Lennox and Mariah Carey. It's awesome. Only girl ballads like Celine Dion. It's a great playlist. But what was fun for me, and why I get so excited, is because I created an environment that women absolutely thrive on, can be themselves in, because I sit there and I workshop what's happening. I talk about positions. We work through key lifts, deadlifts, overhead presses, bench press, squats, heavy box squats. Like we move, and I'm working through all what we scientifically need for our physiology. So we're working those we're working the progressions with the loads. We're working the plyometric training. We're doing sprint training. And and I actually was crying in last week's class because there's an authority that has come into their bodies. Like I just was watching them, like their approaches. I always joke, like weightlifting is choreography. It's like dance moves. Like I know exactly when I'm lifting a bar, I'm like my hand, my foot, my breath, my shoulder, pop, pop, pop. I have the exact same sequence every time. And I'm sitting back and I'm just like, tears are coming out of my eyes. And I'm watching like these women that are stepping into their bodies, owning the mindset and the confidence to be like, yeah, I can go heavier. Or, and there's a woman, Debbie, she's like in her 60s or 70s. I don't want to, I'm just going to leave it open because I don't want to say her age. But she's like the oldest woman in her class. And when she first came, she's like, I don't know how to lift. I don't know how to do anything. I just came to support my daughter. And now like our gym made her athlete of the month because
That's
like
awesome.
she's like, I'm an athlete, and we're like, Debbie. And she's our queen bee, man. And she's like out there doing the thing. And like, she's like, this butt that never went on, it's on now, and like she's squatting, and I see the way like she's standing taller walking through that gym, and like it's like, to me, there's no better teacher than a barbell, and there's something about the way women learn together and the way we learn through a different kind of camaraderie. I mean, like these women are like, this is the best time of my week. And I'm like, how is that possible? But I realize, like, when you create an environment that is full of like fun and safety and learning, like the happiest I am is when I'm learning. And I think a lot of women feel that way, progressing and working towards something. And I don't know, like we just have an absolute ball together. It's just the best. It's just the best.
See, this is what I mean. This is when you light up. Like like I love hearing you talk about this on your Instagram. I love hearing you talk about it now. This is the most in-depth I've heard about it. Like,
and by the way, they're getting so strong and like they're getting like lean and mean. I'm like, what's up? Like, oh my God. We have one girl, Erica, she's probably like 5'9", but her deads, she just couldn't get in the position. She wasn't strong enough to grab at depth. So like I raised the floor by putting like 45-pound plates down.
Yep.
So I started her there, almost like at a trap bar height.
Yeah.
And so she's pulling, and now she's like pulling from the floor, totally like heavier weight. Like I'm like, what the fuck is going on over here? She's like, what? I'm like, I have nothing to talk to you about. It's perfect.
Everything looks good.
Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know. It's like to have an impact as a coach is my favorite thing. It's my greatest point of pride. And, just to like, I mean, I don't know most of like I don't even know what they do for a living. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
It's like, it's just like this anonymous like girl gang.
Yeah, it's like Fight Club.
Yeah, totally.
It's like Lift Club. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You just go in, you do your shit. Yeah. I love that. People come. We have a girl, like one that drives like 2 hours from Bakersfield. Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, she's like, I haven't lifted like this since I did sports in college. Yeah, I know. It's pretty cool.
How would let's say you have a woman listening to this who doesn't have a women's lift club near her, and she's struggling to get in. Like, what would you advise this woman to do?
I mean, I have two very specific lanes. One, like, get into a community that you can trust. And I know you've got a great inner circle. I have clients that I used to train like back in the day that are all in your inner circle and that love it. I love what we're doing at the Pump Club, to be honest. Like, we've got the online app, and everyone has to do the foundation program. And that's why I like that, because it's a rite of passage. Like, I'm 2 months new to the group. I'm still in the foundation. Like, nobody gets out of it. And it's a really great progressive, it prepares your body for the appropriate load as you go. So I really like having a structured, trustworthy outline with a community that supports you. But I'm a big advocate. And I told you earlier, like, go take some privates with Pilates.
Yep.
Hire a trainer for like 3 sessions. Like, spend the money on, like, you either spend your money on your health now or you spend it in your like bad health later.
Correct.
So like, spend your money, get with a coach, like, ask the questions, like, hire someone, like, how do I work this lat pull down machine? How do I set up the Smith machine? Like, just spend a little time and money on yourself with a trainer in person to set yourself up for success when you get started.
Yeah.
But just, that's it. And honestly, like, for anybody that's also really new that says, okay, I don't have the money for a trainer, get to the fucking gym and ask questions.
Yeah.
When I taught the women's clinic, I was leading, but I had 4 other coaches who were like, just put me to shame. They are like stacked and incredible athletes and have like bigger quads than I do. And I was like, show of hands if you guys were born with all the knowledge that you have right now. And of course, like, nobody raised their hands. I'm like, we all were beginners once. I asked questions in the gym. And so everybody in the gym was a beginner at one point. Go ask a question. Say, hey, sorry, catch somebody in between. He said, how do I get into this thing? You know, like, we want to help. We're not going to interrupt anybody. Yeah. So just ask questions. Yeah.
I think it's normal for people to be worried and scared and, oh my God, are they going to judge me? Da, da, da. In my experience, 98% of people in the gym are fucking amazing. Yeah. And 2% are douchebags.
Yeah, but that's everybody in like, I don't know.
In general, yeah.
Dude.
Well, let's just say, just so the person who is worried about the douchebag, just so they have a plan, if they ask for help and the person turns out to be one of the 2% of douchebags, how do you approach? What do you do?
So, sorry to bother you. Then go ask the next guy.
Yep.
Like, just ask somebody else.
That's
like,
it.
And by the way, someone would have heard it or seen it. Like, everyone wants to help. So just ask somebody else.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, with any kind of weight training, go low, go slow, right? Lower the weight, slow down the reps, start to like feel the range of motion in your body. You're going to stay in control of it, and then you move on. Yeah.
Looking at your, I'm saying career, but I mean your entire lifting career, like everything that you've done athletically, lifting wise, all of that. When was your favorite time? Like what time period of your own lifts, your own workouts was your favorite?
Oh, that's college for sure. I went to University of Kansas, and I'd walked on the rowing team and was just absolute dog shit. Like I am a short distance athlete, and like a rowing sprint is like at least 6 minutes if you're in an 8-person boat. And like, I mean, like to be a rower, you had to have like a sub 8 2K. I never did it once. I was like, it's not going to happen for me. So anyway, I've told the story on a podcast before, but I'm sitting there in the gym and I'm lifting. And as a freshman, sophomore, I mean, I was stronger than most of the seniors. And the throws coach, Doug Reynolds, who's actually back coaching at KU, it's so crazy, saw me lifting and went to the rowing coach. Is like, wow, this is like a new recruit. Look at that. Look at her CNS. Look at her moving. And he's like, oh, it's Jen. She's terrible. like I was like on the D boat. Like I was not good. I had good form and everything, but like I was not really good in the boat. And he goes, can I have her? Right. And
That's
basically
so
Doug approached me about being a hammer thrower because I was more explosive. And he's like, there's all these elements. I think I can do it. So anyway, what was fun about it was a couple of things. And, looking back now, I'm like, I have to look at my old notes. I'm like, I can't believe I did that. Like I was squatting 315. My snatch was just under 200 pounds using men's bars, by the way.
Holy shit.
I had a 225 bench.
Shut the fuck up.
I was the weakest on the team. Yeah, I was like, as an athlete, I was nothing. I mean, I probably had one of the better snatches, but like hammer throw is truly a snatch finish.
Yeah.
But it was just like, move heavy things a lot with power, and then you get out there and you crush, right?
Yeah.
And so I was a really small hammer thrower. I was only 5'6". Like these girls are like Brian Urlacher size. They're two-turning, gripping and ripping, and I was like a 4-turner with a lot of speed and a lot of precision. I was trained more like a Russian or Romanian thrower versus like, I mean, this is really mean.
Say it.
We call them bush pigs. These big hosses of women. And it was purely out of just me trying to get myself mad at them and competitive. One time we were at the conference meet. It was my last year. And we went to warm up and we were at K-State and we were so pissed because they were very big, strong girls that would like kind of grip and rip. So they wanted the ring grittier. So you could tell they'd put acid on the ring to make the cement slow you down, which is the worst case scenario for me. And then the next day, so that was like our shakeout, and the next day it was raining. And I was just like,
fuck yeah.
Oh yeah. And I literally walked through mud and like wiped it on their towels. But by the way, when you're gonna act like an asshole, you better throw. So it's like I put pressure on myself to perform in the ring.
Yeah.
But I mean, you kind of, it sounds funny. I think, all great athletes like me, Michael Jordan,
the best of the best.
But you find an issue with somebody.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'm using it. And and it was a fight to the end. I mean, I got second. I lost to a girl from Oklahoma State, which was deserving. But you know what I mean? To be a walk-on, to earn a scholarship, to, place 2 at the Big 12s, to go to nationals, like it was so fun. But the lifting in that time, we would be up at the gym by 5:30, 6 o'clock, moving weights. Like sometimes I'm like, I don't know how I did that. I remember we would front squat and I would just pass out during my reps because it was like, hey. And then they're like, Wienerstrom's out, and they would like bring me up, and then the guys were so strong they would just like power clean my bar back up. You know what I mean? And it was like, do something. So it was just really fun to be that strong, to be able to load, to feel your body under that pressure. And what was, I think, really fun about it, especially at that time, because KU, we were all using like the same gym, and so you'd have like the basketball team and the volleyball team and like we're a really big basketball school, and like the basketball players would be cheering for us on our max out days.
Oh, I love that.
So it was like we had this really cool like inner sport camaraderie, and it was just like people were like in awe of us. And I remember feeling like really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were really cool.
Right.
I mean, that's awesome.
I know. I mean, like, I tried to snatch yesterday and I got like 105. I was like, okay, a little rusty. Just 50% of my own max. But no, that was the most fun. Yeah, but also I will say lifting with purpose, when you have a program and you're like, okay, these are my numbers this week, next week, I'm going to put fucking 5 pounds on everything. I want to move. So that's what I'm saying, like going back to getting started, like you really want to commit to a plan. You don't want to just be floating around. You don't want to jump in the gym and try some things. Like have the week, repeat the program, make sure that you know where you're going because it gets excited to chase the next number.
Yes.
It's just so much more. It's so fun. And also like for us, because we had the cherry at the cake of that, or the cherry on the sundae on that is the competition.
Yes.
Like I'm going to move weight to throw really far and win. And so it's like you have to think about what that outcome is for you. And I mean, now these days, it's just like I'm winning it. Like resiliency is my favorite thing. Like I want to be resilient. So that's why for me, like I'm moving weight, you know?
I love that.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I love encouraging people to sign up for competitions.
Yeah.
Because it gives them an immediate purpose.
Yeah.
When you compete in something, even, again, we're not
And
going
a
to the
deadline.
Olympics. In a deadline. Yeah. We're not going to the Olympics. I'm not going to be the best jiu-jitsu athlete. I'm not going to, none of that. But when I have a competition, it brings an entirely new level of purpose to my training.
Yeah.
It's also, and even for people who maybe they're not super competitive or don't want to compete, I love making goals that are outrageous. I know everyone's like, yeah, just like pick a small goal. And there's a time and a place for that depending on the person. But I personally like picking goals that are fucking stupid. They're so big. Like,
Yeah.
for example, like being able to do a side split, holding my daughters is a stupid goal. Like that's crazy. To be able to go from where I was to being able to do a full side split while holding that is. But that's like when a woman is like, maybe she has to lose 100 pounds. She's like, oh, what should my goal be? I was like, I mean, I think, would you want to do a chin up? She was like, there's no way I could do chin up. Like that should be your goal.
Yeah.
You should be able to, like, it's not going to happen next week. But like, if that's your goal and you get super competitive about it, like number one, it's an amazing goal to shoot for. Number two is when you hit that goal, it is going to be the most amazing feeling in the world when you've lost the weight you need to do, you've built the strength you need to do, you've had the consistency, you've shown up for yourself. Like there will be nothing better than hitting that goal after years of effort.
But that's what I was saying earlier about, when you get to the other side. If you get to the other side, you'll understand what I meant by that post.
Yeah.
The only people that know how good it feels are the ones that got to there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I can't promise you and I can't tell you what it's going to feel like. I know what it feels like. You've got to do it to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That's
what's exciting to me. When people get there and I see their eyes change, I'm like, you figured it out.
Yes, you got it.
You know what I mean? You got the thing. And that's and there's like thing, and then there's the next thing.
Yes.
But again, once you've done it once, you're like, oh, I remember this feeling. I remember this point in the journey. I remember when I wanted to quit and I didn't, and I'm not going to quit again. And then you start to build your own reserve of like motivations and like memory and like experiential, like, I would say, experiential, like, support. Mm-hmm. Like, cause you've been through it and you're like, I got it this time. I know it this time. You know what I mean? It's cool.
I promised you that in the title of this podcast, we would put curly penises.
Yes, you did.
I promised you that on our last phone call.
Yeah.
Can you tell people why? Bring us back. Yeah, let's talk about this.
I was looking at your Instagram and I didn't realize that you and your wife had met in junior high. Mm-hmm. And so you met in junior high and then you revisited later and then reconnected. Is that basically the thing? Yeah.
We dated for one day when she moved to my town.
Right.
And I'm in 6th grade and I was like, she's super hot.
Yeah. Still is.
Super hot. Smoke show. We went on a school field trip to a rollerblading place. So on the day that we started dating, we went to this rollerblading place. There was a guy there selling a light up rose for $5. I bought this light up rose because I was told that girls love roses.
Yeah.
And I gave it to her. And the next day she broke up with me. She said things were going too fast, too quickly, or going too quickly, whatever.
Shouldn't have done the rose, huh?
I shouldn't have done the rose. all like the cartoons and everything lied to me. I was like, I shouldn't have done the rose. And so we didn't talk for like 15 years after that. She ended up moving to Atlanta, and I moved to Israel, and all this stuff. We didn't talk throughout high school, and then we reconnected way before my Instagram really started to take off. She had found my fitness content.
Oh.
So she found it, and she messaged me to say like, hey, like I'm really into strength training. Like I really love it. And I was like, you are still super hot. And so I asked her, because I was coaching Gary Vaynerchuk at the time, and I was traveling all the time.
Oh.
So I said, hey, if I have if I'm in Atlanta, would you want to meet up and go on a date? Or I didn't say go on a date. I was like, do you want to get a drink? And she was like, yeah, sure. So I lied and said that Gary had a business trip in Atlanta.
Good job.
So
you just went.
I just went, and that was in 2017, and so that was it.
Were you thinking about it that long? Like you've dated women in between. You're like, no, I still got my.
No.
Okay.
Nope. When I saw that.
Why did you fly to Atlanta?
Well, number
That's a
one,
big swing.
Yeah. I mean, I was single, and she was, she's super hot.
Did I mention she was super hot?
She was just, and so it was. I was just like, why not? I love traveling, and as of right now, though, I love to just be home and everything. But I was young, and I was just like, why not? Like, I'll just get on a plane and I'll go see her. And then I didn't expect it to turn into anything. I was just like, why not? I mean, I would do this all the time. I would, people in the inner circle, if they like commented or if they were interactive enough, I'd be like, where do you live? And I would fly out and I'd take them to lunch. Like, I would do that pretty frequently. So at that point in my life, when I was traveling, I was in airplanes and hotels more than I was. Like, I had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of flights over these few years. It was just like, it was a normal thing for me to do.
No, it's like an Uber ride.
Yeah, literally. It was, I'm going to be in the airport anyway. I might as well just book a flight. And so after we got engaged, I was like, just so you know, I didn't have a business trip. I just want to see you.
You did come clean.
I told her eventually, yeah. But it was literally after we got engaged.
Did she remember you from junior high?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She remembered me. But
did she tell you why she broke up with you?
She said the rose, she thought it was moving too quickly, but she kept the rose.
Did she?
She still had the rose, yeah.
So, okay, so then this is where my story has a different outcome.
Okay.
I also dated somebody in junior high that I was pretty sweet on. And the irony is I did meet him up with him many years later. I was bartending and he came in with his wife. And I was like, oh my God, Tim Ewers, what's up? But in sixth grade, we were dating. We were very, like, dating. I remember being very, still very shy. And like, we had this thing called Now, where it was like Friday nights and you could dance and like hang out. And he was like always asking me to come, but I always had gymnastics practice, so I could never go. And I finally had that night off and I got to go, and I had red Velcro, Reeboks, lace-ups, turquoise socks, turquoise jeans, and a turquoise Save the Rainforest t-shirt. I vividly remember this moment. And we were dancing and he put like his hands on my butt and I was like, I'm not that kind of girl. Right? And I felt things were moving too fast sexually. Obviously, he was my first kiss. We only did like one of those. Yeah. But when he did the hands in the butt, I was like, this is too fast for me. So I broke up with him, and he told the whole school that I had my hair looked like curly penises. Because I had gotten a perm. So I sent you the picture, didn't I? Yeah. It was this.
Maybe we could send Mitch the picture and he'll put it up on the screen for YouTube.
Yeah, that's no problem. And I mean, listen, I want to be very clear. I like very cute. The curls were great, but he told the whole school curly penises were what my hair looked like. And I was just like devastated that he would. I'm like, how can you say something like that about me? Curly penis.
Did you continue to perm your hair after that?
No, it was a one and done.
It was a one and done.
Yeah, I do that a lot though. Like I permed it and then grew out. I bleached my hair like white blonde when I was in Denver and let it grow out. I shaved my head, let it grow out. Yeah, you just do the thing. But yeah, that's it.
You shaved your head?
Yeah, remember I had the whole side of my head shaved.
Oh, the one side.
Oh yeah, I didn't do the whole thing. That's misleading.
Not like the Britney. Yeah.
R.I.P.
Wait, why did you shave the one side of your head? What prompted that?
It's so funny. I was on a retreat with Laird Hamilton and Gabby Reese. They were doing
cool.
the XWT, and I had my head shaved, and we were talking, and Laird said the same thing. He goes, "So, what's all this about?" And kind of touched that, and he just brilliant, really special guy. And I was like, I just wanted to like try it out. I was like just thinking it'd be fun. And he goes, and I gave him this whole like bullshit performative answer. He goes, okay. He's like, what's it really about?
Oh, wow.
And I just started to like tear up, and I was like, I don't know. I'm really not happy with myself right now. And I think I'm just trying to change how I look so I can change how I feel, And I mean, in the stretch of like 6 months, I'd like shaved my part of my head, dyed my hair blonde, pierced my nipples. I was like doing like so much to myself, you know what I mean? And I just was like, I don't know. I just don't think I'm doing okay, and he quoted something to me that a dear friend quoted to him when he was having a hard time. And he just said, this is a small thing for a giant. He said it he put it in much cooler context, and it really helped me think like what I'm feeling is real and it's hard, but he's like, you're a giant.
I love that.
Isn't that pretty?
That's beautiful.
And it stuck with me like forever. So Laird Hamilton, my little guy.
It takes real chutzpah to be like, okay, what's it really about?
I know, but only Laird.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was just a delight and such a special guy. Really, really good person.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's a really cool story.
Yeah, right? So there you go. So I just think I don't know. I think I was just spinning out. You know?
I like your hair now.
Dude, it's great, man, right? It's doing its thing.
I have 2 more questions.
I'm ready.
Okay.
By the way, can you hear Curtis at the door?
Yeah. He's like, he's like, I miss you.
Dude, I schooled his ass when I got in here.
That was super impressive.
Right.
I'll give context for people who.
Yeah.
So Curtis is my dog, who's a 100-pound golden retriever puppy, and when anybody walks in, a murderer could come in and he'd be like, I love you, I love you.
Loving.
And
lovely.
he starts trying to do that to you, starts jumping on you, and apparently you met Caesar.
I met Caesar Milan. So I was training a woman whose neighbor was Caesar Milan, and I was there, and he had helped her. They had actually a chocolate lab puppy that they were trying to work with. And I watched him just like go through this little exercise with the puppy, which I pulled on Curtis, which is basically when you walk into the room, you do not give the dog attention. You talk to the humans. You don't acknowledge him. You don't touch him. You don't whack him away. You just keep kind of moving. You don't really get idle anywhere. And you're talking. And I literally was like, I'm just making this up. I'm just kind of walking around. I'm just not going to give him attention. And he kind of followed me for a second. And then he just realized that like, oh, it's not my turn. She's the alpha. And I put him in a submissive position as like from an attention standpoint. And then he just sat and waited. And then when he was quiet and sitting and waiting, then I rewarded him with attention. And then that
it was really badass, to be honest.
I mean, you got to hold out. You just can't, because he's so cute and you just want to hug him. But that's like whenever you guys, even you guys, you walk into the room, you've just got to ignore him. So like you're in charge. You wear the pants, right? And then you reward when he's being.
I'm going to do that from now on.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. Because I walk in, I just want to like love him and kiss him. Yeah, I need to do that. I need to be better with that though.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yeah, I bet. Thanks, Caesar.
2 questions.
Yep.
Number 1, what are you scared of?
I would say living beneath my potential because of the limitations I put on myself. Yeah. Like I was writing out like what a perfect, like I told you earlier, I want to set more goals. And I don't know if it's so much failure or lack of, like a fear of failure or a lack of belief, but like I was basically building out what I want my life to look like from a career standpoint. And I wrote as like a core feature of who I am and how I get my message out would be on television. I love doing it. I'm great at it. And I wrote television at the top as like kind of like a key part of my, like what I do. And then I erased it. I was like, you're so stupid. Why do you think that you belong on television? You know what I mean? And I immediately took it off my list. And then I said, and I started to build out the rest of everything else. And then I rewrote it back on I'm like, what are you doing? No, it's okay that you want that. It's okay that, and you want it for the right reasons. And you want to put that God light into people and share it. And I'm fucking great at it. So put it on the board, Jen, right? And I discount myself very easily. And I'm afraid of doing that in my life. And because I have realized I'm my greatest limiting factor, because I am, like I said, I'm really happy. I have a life that I'm content with. I have enough money. I have enough friends. I love what I do for my job. I'm like, I've made space for a partner when he arrives, and I'm like, I'm good. But I'm like, but are you? Like, I'm like, it's okay. Put television back up there. You're going to do it. And you're allowed to say that you're going to do it. But that's what I'm saying. I get in my head about that.
Makes total sense.
Sure. Yeah.
What are you excited about?
I'm really excited about being an honest and safe voice for women. I feel like I've spent the last 5 years kind of curating my own version of femininity and power. And I'm really excited to take on that responsibility for women. And like, it's why I'm doing the podcast. It's why I'm doing Pump Club. I'm literally building a women's supplement line right now with friends of mine in Milwaukee.
That's awesome.
Just because I'm like, I am someone that people trust, and I care about people. I care about them feeling supported. I care about them thriving, and I want them to have the support that I've been given in my life. And how can I replicate that? Because like in any given day, I could text you any day. I can text Adam any day. I can text Gunnar any day. Like I've got so much support in my life that I'm like, I want to provide that infrastructure for women. I really, really want to. And that's why I do the Women's Lift Club. It's why, you know, I want to have the courage to put television on my vision board, because it's like, it's what I'm supposed to do. You know? And so I'm excited about seeing it come into form. You know, I feel like any vision, you have to have clear goals and clear steps to get there. So it's crazy, Jordan. I can't quite see the outcome. I can't quite see the shape, but I know I'm heading the right direction.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and sometimes I feel like I'll catch headwinds on stuff and then tailwinds on others. And I'm trying to trust that like natural current of the flow. And I'm someone who previously would have fought the current and like grabbed the sides of the shore and be like, no, right, and paddled upstream. And I'm like, no, I'm letting it take me, but I'm observing and I'm listening and I'm ready and I'm getting really good at understanding that ebb and flow. So I'm excited. I just know it's all coming together, and I can't wait to have it come into form. But yeah, I think that's probably it.
I love that.
Yeah, I really want to be there.
Where can people follow you?
It's just my name, Jen Widerstrom. We'll probably write it out.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah. But that's my Instagram, and I'll eventually post about the name of the podcast and all that stuff. But
when the podcast goes live, let me know what it is, and I'll put that in the show notes as well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So yeah.
That's it.
And come work out with me in LA. Come to a Lift Club, and I'll put on another strength clinic.
Should they DM you first, or how does that work?
I'm gonna be honest. DMs are hard for me. Okay. I just get a lot, and I'm getting more like OnlyFans offers than I am like legitimate.
Oh my gosh!
I wish there was like another lane for like real inquiries.
Yeah.
But yeah, DM me. I try to
email.
I do better with comments actually. If you comment on something, I'll read people's messages and then I'll DM them directly.
Got it. Okay. So comment on a post.
Yeah, that's helpful for me.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for coming.
Can I ask you one silly question?
You can ask whatever you want.
I brought a list. I actually did bring a list of questions, but like we've kind of covered a lot of the things that I was thinking. Okay, I do have one more serious one and then one silly one. Do you want to do a silly one first?
You choose. You're the boss.
Okay, we'll do the serious one first. I want to know how you move through what I would call like a weird, heavier day. Like, how do you navigate wherever it's like, I call it like a heavy headline. Mm-hmm. I mean, you had an amazing interview this week. You told me with the gentleman who's like,
the Palestinian man. Yeah.
Palestinian man. Yeah. So like I call it hard headlines and like home system, or even like deep questions from within. When Jordan Syatt gets stuck, I want to know how you help find your breath again and your cadence again.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great question. The answer that I have now is very different than the answer I had before kids. Because especially that they're so young and like they love me, it's the easiest thing in the world. I just stop everything else and I'm just like, I'm just going to be with you now. And it's just like, I open the door and my toddler runs into my arms. It's like, this is literally sort of like the quote at the very beginning, like, this is all that matters. Like,
it's the immediate reset button. You're like, let's get perspective here.
Yeah. Like this is it. So that's like one of the greatest benefits of having that. But even let's say, like, we'll just say either before I had kids or if the oldest is at school or something else, it's just not possible. I always try and go outside. And I pray when I'm outside. And I don't just pray outside, like I'll pray upstairs as well. But like, it's getting outside helps me feel closer to God for sure. Even if it's just hearing the wind or feeling the wind or feeling the grass or looking at the trees or seeing birds or the clouds, there's something about being outside that helps me feel closer to God. But essentially what that does is it helps align me with what matters, and the bigger picture. Yeah,
it's funny, kind of, the going outside thing. It's like changing your perspective changes your perspective. It sounds, you know what I mean? Like it's something about the geography change for you. It clicks something.
Yes,
in. That's really neat.
What about you?
My fastest way is helping someone else. Yeah, it's either coaching or helping someone. I feel like it's really easy to get caught up in, to just get caught up. And you know what I mean? You kind of pull out of yourself a little bit and you see the perspective of someone else. It's not a distraction, but it's like you're really working with someone. Man, it just shifts me right back to.
What's an example of a heavy headline or a tough day? Like what's a potential circumstance that could make it a difficult day like that?
I mean, like just going through like the fires in LA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which going back to, I cannot wait to listen to your interview with Ahmed, because hearing someone's perspective in that experience is so exciting to me because of having gone through the fires in LA, and we were in a terribly scary evacuation because our fire was arson there in Hollywood. And hearing people talk about what happened and what was going on, I'm like, no, I was there. That's not what happened. You know what I mean? And so I feel very profoundly protective of California's experience and what we went through. And like people I know who lost their homes and lost everything. And I'm like, you guys don't get to comment on what you think you heard from this news source or that
conspiracy
news source.
Theory.
No,
whatever.
It's all conspiracy. There was one point someone said because there was a certain amount of firefighters that weren't vaccinated, and if they were a part of it, this wouldn't happen. I'm like, you have no fucking idea how bad it was. We could have had 1,000 more fire trucks, 1,000 more planes in the air, and 1,000 more firefighters. It would not have mattered. It was the windstorm of the century, of multiple. So, it wasn't the fire, it was the wind. And you get into like the water shortage and all the bullshit. And I was like, I can't even, listen, I get angry just talking about it. So I'm so excited to hear the inside experience of someone that's been living it. So thank you for having that conversation. I can't wait to listen. But like, that's what I'm saying at the end of that, the hard day, like there was a hard stretch of weeks. Like I was just in a fog. And I think for me, it was like literally, I wanted to help. I felt like for me to be useful is to be purposeful. And it's really easy to develop a victim mentality when you're sitting on your hands doing nothing.
Correct. Yes.
And the definition of a victim, which I will throw my hand up and say I was living like one for the majority of my life, it's when someone or something is responsible for how you feel. And that's all I hear people doing is complaining. And I was like, no, I had reason to complain too. And it's hard to know what to do, but I was like, I'm going to do something. And so when I'm useful, I feel like it really gives me a perspective on, not measuring my experiences against others, but about like it's like you seeing your toddler. It resets the table on what's really going on, and it kind of levels all the emotion, the drama, the coiling that our minds do. And so that's really what it is for me.
It was also wonderful to see your response, because everything on your Instagram went all towards the fires.
Yeah.
And what you were doing on your own, which I don't know a fraction of it, but you were driving around, giving help where you could, raising funds, like everything you could do was geared towards helping that. So it makes sense that that's what your first response is.
You know what was weird though? I almost didn't want to post, and then I was like, don't be a tool, just post if you want to post. But there are people, and I'm not going to name because I think they're not bad people, they're like taking pictures with like pallets of water and like taking selfies and posting it, and then calling me saying, hey, do you know who needs water? I go,
oh my gosh.
They're like, we don't know what to do with all this stuff. And I was like, what you know, like people were getting pictures.
Correct.
For content.
Yeah.
And it really, let me tell you, certain things, I have really weird cutoff points with people. I'm a bit of an assassin.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're done.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing trash at them when I see them in the street, but I'm like, oh, I'm not going to interface with that person anymore.
Yeah.
And because it's not about you don't believe what I believe. I just like, oh, our core values are so
completely
dissimilar.
Different. Yeah.
I don't feel good about it, and I don't want to be used in that way, and that's what happens a lot. So, anyway, yeah, it was. I felt like a responsibility to help and share honestly, but it was just a wild time. So yeah, I think that's what it is. Like, and that's why, like, honestly, whenever I put on challenges or health stuff, a big part of like my daily point systems is like acts of service. Mm-hmm. Go help. Go pick up trash. Go be you know. Be helpful.
I mean, you do
be
Women's
kind.
Lift Club for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the girls are great. Like, they'll bring me flowers and they'll bring me coffee. Like, I get paid in experience. Like, I got one woman bringing me homemade soup. Like, I'm coming out.
I
like,
love that.
Really, really, I'm coming out good. So yeah.
You know what? I wasn't going to go down the route, but I feel like we should. I think it's important for people to hear. You and I have unique perspectives on content creation because we do it. It's different as a consumer of content.
Oh yeah.
One thing I'm looking at in regard to, for example, the fires. A lot of these conspiracies came out, and I'm not an expert on this, but I am an expert on content creation, and I am an expert on why people are creating content. And I do know that the reason people are creating content is so that they can get more likes and get more views and get more followers. And if there is a current event that they can post about, if people are willing to lie about health and fitness, if people are willing to lie about anything, then why wouldn't they also make something up for the benefit of their own channel, for getting more likes and views, more sponsorships, whatever it is? So I don't know any of the conspiracies. I try and stay away from that. But it is important for people to be aware that if there's a current event going on and you're consuming information on that seems crazy, or even if it doesn't seem crazy, if you're consuming information on a current event, understand that the account that you're following, there's a really good chance that they're not reporting facts. They're reporting things and framing it in a way just to get you to talk, even if it seems like it could be negative. It maybe especially if it seems like it could be negative. It's literally just done not to inform you, but to spark a reaction out of you.
It's to consume you. And by the way, it's the negative, it's the dramatic content that does better.
Yes, always.
Like, I don't know. I think it's really selfish and it's very short-sighted.
Yes.
And it's irresponsible. And
100%.
I just feel like I don't know. I don't know. I'm that goes back to my like frustration where I don't want to compete with that. But I think I do feel like we need to trust our audiences and put our faith in each other again, and know that like people are going to make good decisions for themselves and their homes and their heads and their hearts. And so it's like a dear friend said this to me. He goes, I used to worry about how I was getting to the right sources and now like right information, and now I worry about what information is coming to me. And so that's what I would offer to anyone listening. Be very judicious about what information is reaching you, whose voices are reaching you. I don't care. It will interface with you. It will take your energy. It will skew your mindset. Like I read the newspaper now. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so just be careful and also like I'll do an audit, like get whatever social media you're on. I again, assassin, I unfollow the heck out of people.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm out. Like, if you post weird stuff, I'm out.
Yep.
And if I feel like, and I've had friends in the past that are kind of on a rant, I just mute their account. If you don't want to deal with the why did you unfollow me conversation, I absolutely understand not wanting to have that. Just mute everything.
Yeah.
But you should only have to have people, places, things coming into your feed that bring you joy, that bring you support, that bring you levity, that help you like feel great in your existence and it supports you in what you're after.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, bye, break up.
Yep.
Get it out.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking and I know we've already covered it, but just briefly, you struggle with, well, I don't want to compete with that. I would frame it as you saw these horrific fires in LA and you saw the heroic firefighters and all that they were doing. Imagine if they were like, oh, this fire's just too big. I'm not going to fight this shit.
Totally.
You know what I mean? It's like you're a firefighter out here.
I know I'm being a fucking quitter, aren't I?
Yeah. So you just got to be a firefighter is what it is.
Okay. You know what the problem is? I was really spoiled in Biggest Loser. I didn't have to do anything but be myself, coach those people, work with them. I had never done television like this before or certainly not coached in this situation. And it was so much pressure and I always butt heads with production because we'd have like 4 hours to work them out. And like one trainer would have them like on a treadmill incline, running at a 10 speed, falling down, throwing up. And I'd be doing like dead bugs and getting their core and their lower legs ready. They're like, what are you doing? Where's the workout? I'm like, I'm warming them up.
Yeah.
If someone throws up, I've done a bad job.
Correct. Yeah.
And, but the point is like, I knew if I put my people first, I would be okay. Mm-hmm. And we had 4 camera crews collecting everything. So I didn't have to do any of that. I just got to be us. And I think that's why you can feel it. I even posted recently one of those moments of like, it was like a weigh-in or something. And like, I still see all my contestants. We're doing a reunion. I've got 2 reunions next month.
I love that.
And it's like we're family and the kids have grown up and we all know each other and love each other. And some people are up and down in weight and we're still working through what that looks like. And, Thomas has a newborn and he was a little premature. So like working through sleepless nights, what him and his wife are doing as a team, nutritionally, how I can support them. What do their sleep schedules look like? And it's so exciting. But like, to me, I just was spoiled because I didn't have to do anything because NBC did it all. Mm-hmm. And I just miss those days. Sorry.
Different media days now.
Different media days. I know. I need a Mitch.
You do need a Mitch.
I know.
Everyone
but Mitch
needs
lives
a Mitch
in Dallas. God damn it. Anyway,
what's your silly question? I
want to know like one really like silly, goofy thing that you do privately that like nobody knows about. Like if I go to like public restroom, it could be your home or a porta potty. If the toilet paper is like switched the wrong way, I have to sway it. It's slightly OCD, but I'm like, I got to make this right. And I always clean up, I replace toilet paper rolls and I pick up trash off the ground. I'm like a bathroom attendant and I can't help it. But if I'm like at a public place that I'm like, the service has been bad, I'm like, I'm leaving it messy. That's my like, that's your real dig. That's my mean side.
I'm not going to clean this up for free.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck them. But if it's a nice experience, I'm like, yeah, I'll do the trash. Okay. Like, I wipe the counters down. So see, you've got to have something silly. Like what? Talk about your coffee.
Oh my god. Okay,
That's a good random thing.
Okay, cool. All right, that's a good one. And actually, it's funny because I love coffee.
Yeah.
And I actually used to have a coffee company, and it was
what was it called?
Unicorn Magic Coffee.
Obviously.
It was, and I love really good coffee. But the coffee that I drink the most, the coffee that I drink now that you're having, it's objectively shit coffee. It's this like instant coffee. I just take a scoop, put it in.
Container.
Yeah, it's this red container, but it's just it's nostalgic for me because
I love it. It's an idiosyncrasy. It's like that's a piece of your like history.
Yeah,
that you bring with you.
When I was younger and I was living in Israel, that's the coffee that I had, and like that was the coffee that like I built my business on. That's the coffee that I had like great relationships with, and just like it was. So that is, even though it's objectively bad coffee, and I have all of the nice coffees here, I prefer the shit coffee.
Yeah, you're like, I've got really bougie coffee, and I've got this like
Yeah,
random
and you were
instant-
like, I'll take the shit
Yeah, I
coffee.
wanted what you had. Yeah. That's a nice quirky thing about you.
Yeah.
Nice deep meaning.
That was helpful.
We'll
Thank
take
you.
it. I just think that like it's so fun to learn about the little
The stuff you don't see on...
the inside stuff about our
Yeah.
personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Jen, thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
We're going to put all of your links in the show notes.
Amazing.
When the podcast comes out, let me know and I'll put the link in the show notes.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you everyone for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please make sure you go follow Jen. She's fucking amazing. And she flew all the way out here. So please go follow Jen. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you did, please leave a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify, wherever you're listening. Give a thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a comment. Let us know how you like it. Have a wonderful week. I'll talk to you soon.